And then we're gonna do a deep dive on certain areas. All right, a bit of Matt Walshing around. But you are not ready for what we are about to see today. All right, I am going hard on this because this is something I've been saying a lot. And the more I say it, the more I get canceled for it. The more I get canceled for it, the more I want to continue saying.
Oh, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, these crash outs are insane.
You want me to go to jail? You want me to go to jail?
No, they don't want you to go to jail. You do. You want to go to jail. You want to go to jail so bad. We need to reopen the asylums. We have to do it.
The fatigue is real.
Protesting against this place, the drip.
Oh my God, dude! And by the way, when I say all cultures aren't created equal, I am including the fucking weird LGBT inclusive woke culture too. All right, that is part of it. Some cultures are worse than others. The ones that are, okay, this is obviously going to be subjective, this is my opinion. The ones that are denominations of biblical cultures, for example, a Jewish culture, a Christian culture, I think they're the best cultures, all right? That's it, bro. The Judeo-Christian values are fucking goated. They're goated, it's over, all right? And every other culture is a little worse, all right? Now, obviously, there's, no one's gonna like this one. Now, obviously, there's gonna be levels to this. There are gonna be levels and limits to this shit, all right? That's my opinion. I'm just saying, but and I've used this example many times before, and I'll use it again. If there is a culture that thinks that it's okay to rape children, do you think your neighborhood would be safer or less safe if you invited 100 people from that culture to your neighborhood? There is no one on the planet that would say, in my opinion, it would make the neighborhood safer, okay? But that is what they are trying to get you to believe. They are trying to get you to believe this shit. And that is fucking retarded.
Cafe, because it is run and funded by a homophobic church. So we think that's bogus.
Homophobic church? You mean a church that follows the word of God? What do you mean a homophobic church? Dude, you're allowed to have your values. Someone else is allowed to have their values. Like, get a life, brother. Oh my God.
And that's bullshit, and we're out here to protest them and tell them to get the hell out of our neighborhood. Oh, we're protesting.
Man, one video after another. Yep, there's one video after another. There's more and more and more of these. And, oh, this is in Philadelphia.
Oh, damn. Yeah, your head was in the ground.
Oh God, it's the fentanyl zombies.
You gonna be alright?
Bro, look at this. What is this shit? Is it zombie now? Yeah, look at him. I mean, it's gotta be like it is actually like they.
You need help?
Jesus. God damn, bro. Like, this is just too much.
And you're gonna tell me that culture is as good as a culture that, I don't know, goes to church on Sunday? Like, what are we even talking about, bro? Bro, they went AFK in real time.
I don't understand, like, the mindset that people have, but if you see something like this and you think to yourself, this is fine, fucking living corpses sitting around in the fucking public park, there needs to be involuntary commitment. Yeah, no, I think the issue is that it just keeps happening in general and people put up with it. That's really where things are going. That's really where the problem is.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Now, I do think that the solution is jail. Okay, jail and asylums. I think, in my opinion, if someone is committing a crime, they should go to jail. This is what I have to say. Now, the reason why I want to mention this is, I think, in my opinion, if there is a culture like this in the United States, it needs to be fixed. Because, in my opinion, this is not Western values. This is not Western culture. This is fucking demonic shit. Now, not everyone feels this way. Let me introduce you to the internet's largest cuck, iCucks. He decided to make a stream where he was attacking his own viewers for being racist. Now, again, they'll call you racist, but they won't call you wrong. Okay? I'll be real. This is why I am actually going crazy here. And that's why I am going to stand up. I am going to stand up for my values. Okay? My values. Which are, that some cultures are worse than others. They are! It's a real thing, and you have to wake up and notice it, okay? It's a real thing.
And anyway, iDubbbz comes out against pattern recognition. Uh-oh, let's see this.
Yo, I mean, oh my gosh. This one. This person says, here in Italy, many of my friends have been robbed, assaulted, and it's been by North African immigrants each time. But I guess the smug Californian has ruled that drawing any kind of conclusion from that is wrong. It is wrong.
So, good news, great news. iDubbbz, a man with absolutely zero moral foundation and absolutely no ethical framework to his life, decides that somebody who was robbed does not have the right to feel the way they do. Now, I'll be real. Italy, and all of Europe, to be honest, is having a bit of a culture shock. Because they also decided to have this leftoid mentality of how every fucking culture is the same. And so what they did was they invited people that do not have the same culture as they do. They invited people that don't see any problem with raping people, that don't see any problem with robbing from people. And surprise, surprise, shock of all shocks, people are getting raped and robbed in Europe. So people in Europe are starting to fucking notice this shit. They want a Trump immediately. And so, you know, we have iDubbbz over here from his cushy fucking house in California, or whatever the fuck, is gonna sit here and morally grandstand to tell you about how you're being racist. You're gonna be racist if you notice pattern recognition.
It is racist and fucking weird.
You're weird.
It's easy to say.
You're weird and racist. I'm saying from my glass house, you're weird and racist. Rosemary to a whore, by the way. Speaking of values,
It's not happening to you.
By the way, just so we're clear, iDubbbz never went to Italy once in his life.
There's a wide variety of markets in Italy, from what I've seen. As someone who hasn't even been there. I've been to a lot of places,
Nice.
virtually, on GeoGuessr. I've been to a lot of places in Italy.
he was places in Italy, and he decided, well, you're just racist.
iDubbbz is going to have this opinion because he can afford to.
You talk about things you definitely don't know or are not willing to understand. No, I know everything about Italy. No, it takes 2 seconds to fucking Google.
There's a guy living in California who's shutting down Italians in his own comment section.
Yeah.
Because he recognizes he's on Google. Brilliant!
You thinking
And it's not only that, by the way, because this is a known fact. It is a known fact that crime is increasing to the point that they're banning ninja swords in England. All right? There is a reason why we're talking about this. There's a reason why people are noticing about this. And there's a reason why people are saying this. It's not automatically racist unless you are a libtard cuck fuck that literally just wants the correct opinion to virtue signal to your audience. And realistically, that's what you're doing. Okay? That is what you're doing right now. You're doing pandering, virtue signaling garbage.
Hey!
Absolute garbage.
Yeah, I haven't been on in a while. I
Showing
went back to
superior the
Chicago
people that are literally having
to
their
visit
family.
family.
members raped and stabbed, okay? Like, we don't care, okay? We do not care about you and your stupid, fake, flimsy morals.
that you're a pattern recognizer
me look at X.
is not racist. Google.
There is the selfishness in the performative altruism that leftist people like this have. To them, it costs them nothing to virtue signal, but it costs other people potentially their lives. Luxury beliefs? Yes, it's a luxury belief. This is something that people can believe in because they can afford to.
Oh, this I also love. Let an undocumented immigrant move in with you. It's like change the undocumented immigrant part to fucking a stranger.
Yeah,
Let a stranger
guess
move in with you. Yeah, still
that's
don't like
cool.
it, bro.
It's easy for somebody in a
Wow,
gated
so
community
brave.
to call you a racist and say that you're stupid. And you can see how gleeful and happy he is patronizing a person who's being terrorized by
Yeah, I do like
North
that.
African migrants. And meanwhile, he's sitting in some probably $1 million house enjoying the comforts of a first world country. And I think it's very
That is
frustrating
cool.
for people to see that from somebody like iDubbbz. It's
Absolutely.
very obnoxious.
Let an undocumented immigrant move in with
That is very
No.
cool.
Yeah, so whenever you say something like this, and again, it's coming from this really annoying, like, far left, like, leftoid lobotomite perspective of every person is the same, cultures don't impact people whatsoever, it makes no difference, you're just racist. If you are noticing the suspicious pattern that North African migrants are, you know, committing the by far largest amount of rapes, that's probably because you're racist and not the reality, because all people are actually the same. So you can move back to your wife's boyfriend's house and maybe rethink the video that you want to make, bro, because this is absolutely fucking abominable. It really is, and I think we need to call it out, because while he's getting blasted by Asmongold right now, I think a lot of people don't know that this is real life. Okay, a lot of people don't know that this is literally real life that's happening everywhere in the world, mostly in Europe at this point. But a lot of people don't realize and don't want to recognize the fact that, yes, not all cultures are equal, and that doesn't make you racist, that makes you awake. that makes you having a pulse, okay? Literally, absolutely fuck yourself and your fake ideals, fake morals that you virtue signal from your glass house as some libtard fuck, you know, lecturing everyone. Now, this is a lot of a European problem,
Well,
but it's an
it'll be a
American
good morning when
and
you
I wanted
buy
to do this
something
specifically to
and
talk
get the
about
fuck
America.
out of here.
Specifically, I talked about this. I wanted to follow up. I talked about this a little bit ago, a couple of weeks ago. This is a Somalian man. He looks like a zombie that came out of fucking Call of Duty. All right. This dude was arrested for attempting to kidnap an 11-year-old and also had a past history of rape and shit, allegedly. So this is a while ago, right? This was July 14th, all right? So this was a while ago. Colorado DA's office will drop some of the charges against Solomon Galligan, the registered sex offender arrested for attempting to kidnap an 11-year-old boy during recess from an elementary school. Following the arrest, Galligan was found to be
I'm gonna make you
incompetent
an
after
offer
he
you
underwent
can't
a competency
refuse.
evaluation.
Don't just
resulting in
stand
the
there
DA's
with
plan to
your
drop
thumb
the
up
charges.
your ass.
So this
Get
dude
the
is
job
a
done.
registered sex offender that was on the streets because, of course, if you can't ever arrest these people or you're racist, you don't want to ever be racist. So, all right, so they let him out. He
You
was
got
a
money
registered
this
sex offender.
time, or
He
you
tried
just
to
here to
kidnap
piss
an
me off?
11-year-old. They stopped him. They arrested him again, and they let him out again. This is absolutely insufferable. Now, I know what you're thinking, Nux. Why are you being racist towards Somalians? Why are you being racist towards Somalians? This is not right. Okay, maybe it's an individual. Hold your horses, all right? When I'm racist, I am racist for the good reasons only. Now, this was a couple weeks ago. Yesterday, they dropped all of the charges. Not just that one, but all of them. Update, Colorado's DA office officially dropped all charges against Solomon Galligan, the registered sex offender arrested for attempting to kidnap an 11-year-old boy during recess from an elementary school. Galligan is now being treated at the Colorado Mental Health Hospital for mental health issues, but likely to be released. His defense said, when receiving the proper treatment, Galligan is a kind person who likes music, cookies, burritos, and animals. And therefore, he is basically out on the streets again. Now, I'll be real with you, this is fucking insane. This is literally insane. This is absolutely fucking crazy. This is not someone that should be walking the streets. I would not at all feel comfortable if that was the case, but they don't want you to be racist. So they're
All
gonna
that
tell you, listen
gawking
guys,
at
if we
goods,
arrest
and that's
you,
all
that's
you buy?
racist. Now, I'm gonna look this up because I don't know if this is true. All right, I don't know if this is true. What's the average, someone told me this, IQ in, you know what? We'll do it this way. In America, what is the average IQ of a retard? Alright, we'll do it this way. I'm just curious, bro. Alright, what's the average IQ of a retard? Alright, let's go. Alright, so retard is outdated and offensive. Ha! Only retards think like that. It's an IQ below 70. Alright, now I'm about to do something that's gonna be deemed as racist, alright? What's the average IQ? There's no way it's that low. In Somalia. There's no way it's that low. Right? Estimates are disputed, ranging from 68 to 92 across different studies. A 2019 study reported the average IQ of 68. That's fucking crazy, dude. I'm not gonna lie. That's fucking insane. That's fucking crazy. I don't know, bro. That's fucking crazy. Holy fucking shit. So yeah, so according to this study, which could be false, not saying it's not, but according to this study, the average Somalian is a retard in America. I don't think that's true. I can't believe that. I'm literally in shock. Someone in my chat told me that I didn't believe these. Oh my god, there's no fucking way. Anyway, I'll be real. Yeah, we have a problem. We have a problem here. And the problem is, the virtue signaling bullshit. It literally is. It is the absolute virtue signaling bullshit, making believe all cultures are equal. It's no problem at all. You are the racist if you think that cultures aren't all equal. Even though you have, like, let's say in Egypt, where 99% of women in Egypt, by the way, this is a real stat, 99% of women in Egypt say they were sexually assaulted. 99%. So you're gonna tell me that every culture is equal? Like, what are we even doing? It's not true. Wake up. Literally wake up. It is a lie that they are telling you because they don't want you to think that people are different based on their upbringing, based on their ethics, based on their values. Okay? Fuck that shit. It's over. We have to wake up and realize that reality might not be very nice. But unfortunate, it is what it is, all right? So get the fuck up, put on your big boy pants, one nipple at a time like everybody else, and welcome to real life, where apparently it's racist to state facts. All right? That's pretty great. That's pretty great. So anyway, Matt Walsh made a video about this Somalia thing. So let's see what we got.
With this letter, the Somali community in Minnesota is acknowledging that by their own words. they don't have that level of moral awareness, which means quite simply that they don't have any business being in this country. They should be deported, and their temporary protected status, which has gone on for 34 years, should be immediately rescinded. More than any other failed state in Africa, Somalia has been in the news a lot lately. First, several Somalis were convicted in a $250 million scheme to defraud U.S. taxpayers by claiming they cooked meals for children when they were really buying sports cars.
No way. No way! Oh my god! Dude, I don't understand. Listen, man, we're America, all right? We're letting immigrants come in, all right? We're letting immigrants come in. Shouldn't we try to take the best people, like, for our country, bro? Like, why are we doing this?
Then several Somali politicians in the U.S., including Ilhan Omar, announced that they're working on behalf of Somali interests, not America's. Then a Somali man in a playground in Minnesota harassed a woman named Shiloh Hendricks and her 18-year-old child, prompting the woman to drop the N-bomb heard around the world.
That's true. That was a Somalian also. A Somalian youth, as some would even say. Yeah, no, but there are all these clips of, like, let me see if I can find that Ilhan Omar clip. Oh my god. I'm a proud Guatemalan before an American. Democrat Representative Delia Ramirez. Sleep in comfort knowing that I'm here to protect the interests of Somalia from inside the U.S. Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar. Like, bro, these people shouldn't be American representatives! What are we doing? Oh my god, I found the actual clip.
That's Somali waxaan nahay dad.
Yeah, I'm not listening to all that. Anyway, I am here to protect the interests of Somalia from within the U.S. It literally should not be the goal. Oh my god, can you believe that there are some Jews that are Israel first? When you have, like, these people are actually fucking saying this shit? By the way, for the record, I want to make this very clear. I don't think that any person that puts any country over should be serving in Congress, by the way. I want to make this clear. I don't care what country it is. I don't care if it's Somalia or if it's Israel. I don't give a shit, all right? If your politics are Palestine before America, fuck you. You should not be in office in America. All right? It doesn't matter what country, where it is. It's literally basic logic. It's insane. Now, anyway, let's see what we got. She married her brother, according to my chat. Nice.
Then to cap it all off, the Democrat Party endorsed a Somali socialist to be the next mayor of Minneapolis. At the moment, he appears to be probably the frontrunner. So it's safe to say that 3 decades after the U.S. government determined that Somalis deserve temporary protected status in the country as refugees from their own dysfunctional governance, a temporary status that has never been revoked, Somalis are dominating our news cycle and some of our major elections as well. And yet, for all the ways that Somalis have found their way into our national discourse of recent months, there's one fundamental question that has remained unanswered.
Uh-oh.
What exactly are all of these Somalis?
What a fantastic question. What are they doing here? Well, I mean, maybe they're here because last I checked, what I was told by a Democrat in office is that other cultures are enhancing America. All right, they are here to make America even better. Oh, they're really improving America as a country, probably, with their rich cultures.
What value do they add? What's their goal? We're told that if we draw any general conclusions about Somalis, Somali culture, based on the observable behavior of Somalis, then we're not allowed to inquire into their motives in any way. But despite all the deflection, no one has ever explained in any affirmative way
Diversity is our strength. How could you say this, Matt Walsh?
What Somalis actually care about. What's their culture all about? This culture.
They are 68 IQ doctors and engineers, okay? How dare you even ask these questions? Now, again, I'm not gonna lie. Hating anyone on an individual level is absolutely racist. Recognizing a pattern is a sign that you are a walking human being that's not afraid of your own shadow, okay? Like, this is crazy.
That we're importing into this country, and that what core principles would they defend in large numbers if it ever came under attack? We know, based on the candidates they elect, that Somalis wouldn't defend the Constitution or the freedom of speech or freedom of association. So what's their motivation? Aside from draining the U.S. Treasury, what single issue really matters to them? Regardless of how often I've asked this question, directly or indirectly, I've never received a response, but suddenly, and somewhat unexpectedly, that's all changed now, thanks to a court case in Minnesota involving a named Alinal Giri. Now the mystery is over. Yes, as part of this criminal proceeding, the Somali community in the state of Minnesota has just revealed what they're truly passionate about. And their answer, in rather unambiguous terms, is that they're passionate, apparently, about the right of men to sexually abuse and torment other people's children.
What?
This is the culture they're
What?
defending. This is what they're willing to excuse, and there's no debating this. They went to court and made their voices very clear. Let's start with the specifics of this case.
Wait. What? I hope he has like evidence, bro. Oh my God, dude.
Local news in Minnesota won't really talk about it for obvious reasons, so instead of playing a clip, I'll summarize the background myself. 42-year-old Kalinal was born in Somalia, spent several years in refugee camps in Kenya. He arrived in the United States in 2006.
Okay.
He worked as a driver for Uber and Lyft most of the time. In 2024, Kalinal was in Minneapolis when he noticed that a 12-year-old girl was playing in her backyard alone.
Oh God.
So he parked his Toyota in an alley outside and asked if the girl's mother was at home. She said no. Short time later, the man put his hand over the girl's mouth, hit her head to the point that she became dizzy and disoriented, drove her a short distance away, and sexually assaulted her in a manner that is too graphic to describe on this show.
Holy shit, dude. Oh my God. That's fucking horrible. Someone in my chat just said the Somalians improved my neighborhood. Yeah, I'll be real. I don't believe you. But this is crazy. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. And now, again, to be real, I'll be honest and real. You can't make a decision about an entire group of people based on what one person did. This person is an obvious piece of shit that should be fed into a wood chipper, and it's a completely indefensible thing that every single Somalian voice in the country should immediately get up and disagree. Literally every time. However, I have a feeling that's not going to be the case. I have a feeling that is not going to be the case. Now, realistically, you have to understand something, and this is the analogy I gave you before. For example, hypothetically, there is a culture that thinks raping children is not actually so bad. Those people in your neighborhood would not enhance the neighborhood. They won't. It's just basic logic. The most basic logic of all time. And obviously that is the case. Now, obviously, you'll be called a racist if you repeat what I say. So therefore, take it from me. Definitely subscribe. But this is crazy.
Now, 5 days later, the child told a school counselor about the attack. The next month, as police investigated, the girl's parents discovered that the man was still calling their daughter and sending her text messages. He was saying things like, quote, "Hey, beautiful, I miss you. When can I see you again?" The parents pretended to be their daughters to lure the man back. And when he arrived at the home, they held him there until police arrived. Once arrested, the man didn't display any form of contrition. He claimed that he thought the girl was 19 years old.
Oh, get out of here! Oh, my bleeding butthole. There is no way. Oh, come on, dude. What are we, 12-year-old?
Which apparently would make it okay to abduct her. He criticized the mother. He continued to fight the charges until he was convicted of first-degree criminal sexual
Bro, how do you admit to this and then fight the charges, bro?
misconduct in May of this year. Now, based on this series of events, which again is as sanitized as I can make it for the purposes of this show, but based on all this, any community or culture with decency or morality would make it very clear that Kalinal does not represent them. They wouldn't make excuses for him. They certainly wouldn't minimize what he had done. Instead, they would recognize his behavior as unspeakably evil. And if
That's what you'd think. Like, for example, realistically, if there was a Christian man that ended up being a pedophile, I would expect every Christian on the planet to show up and condemn that Christian pedophile. Just like a Jewish pedophile, every Jew I know shows up to say that that pedophile is fucking disgusting and should be fed foot first into a wood chipper. All right, that's what any normal developed culture would do. There would be no defending it. Absolutely no defending it in any normal way. Oh God.
If they said anything to him at all, they'd urge him to repent for the acts of horror that he committed, rather than, continue to dodge accountability as he's been doing. But that is not how the Somali community in Minneapolis has responded to this case.
No way.
Instead, as Alpha News first reported, the Al Hisan Islamic Center in St. Paul submitted a community letter of support.
There's no fucking way. And they fucking put their letterhead on it and everything. The Islamic Community Center. Like, I mean, let's be real, dude. Let's be real. Some of the holy scriptures, all right, are a little sussy-wussy. All right, to put it bluntly. I'll be real. Oh my God.
For this man, addressed to the judge in the case. Now, I'm going to read directly from this letter because it answers any and all questions you might have about Somali culture and the Somali community in the United States. So this is them speaking for themselves. Here's what they wrote. Quote, We, the undersigned members of the Somali community, write this letter to express our strong and heartfelt support for Diri, a member of our community. Many of us first met Kalinal through our shared journey as Somali refugees, arriving in this country with little more than hope and determination to rebuild our lives. Like so many of us, Kalinal has faced the challenge of starting over in a new culture, learning English, adjusting to a fast-paced system, and raising children in an environment far different from the one he grew up in. Before the situation, Kalinal was known as a devoted family man and an outgoing person. Despite the financial pressures of life in the U.S., Kalinal also still managed to support needy family members back in Somalia. The situation Kalinal is currently facing comes as a deep shock to all of us.
Bro, I am in actual shock. I am in actual shock. And the fact that they thought it was a good idea to do this, the fact that they thought it was a good idea to release this is absolutely shocking. I don't even know what to say. Like, they really earned that 68 IQ, goddammit. They earned that 68 IQ. Oh my lord. So not only do they support the act of raping a 12-year-old girl, however, they thought it was so sweet they broadcasted it. Oh my god. I'm actually in shock. For those of you that are unaware, there was a Pakistani grooming gang in England that was raping white children, all right? Essentially one of the arguments that they made is they would go after white children because it's permitted. It's permitted. So, yeah, that's a real thing, by the way. I'm not even joking. That was one of the arguments that was made. I showed it in a previous video. Like, fucking hell, dude. So, yeah, it turns out not all cultures are the same. I ended up triggering this one history teacher. Okay, all right? No one cares about random nux, tangents, and lore. But I ended up triggering this random history teacher, okay? Because this history teacher decided that it was important to make this video talking about the Inca tribe. How they were so, how their culture was so good, because look at these rocks.
You were telling me the Spanish looked at this and said uncivilized. The Inca built the Morai terraces as an agricultural laboratory because each separate circle created a different microclimate so they could figure out exactly what to grow at what elevation. The Inca, who cultivated 44 types of corn and 4,000 types of potatoes. The Inca, who built this stuff 600 years ago, and it is still standing because it's all earthquake proof. The Inca, who created salt flats that still to this day aren't privatized. They're all sharing it from the same hot spring in the mountain, and everyone gets a share. Not to mention Coricancha, Machu Picchu, the fact that all of their cities were made intentionally in the shapes of animals that were important to them. This reminds me of exactly what happened in Tenochtitlan. When Cortez laid eyes on that city for the first time, he wrote in his diary that the temples were grander than anything he would have seen in Sevilla. Yeah, you're telling me the Spanish saw this and they said, nah, inferior.
Based Spanish. Base Spanish. They literally did child sacrifices. Okay? The Inca did child sacrifices when they wanted rain. Okay? Yes! They are inferior. They were inferior. They're gone. They were inferior. They were, yes! Absolutely! How am I saying they should all be brutally murdered and executed? Of course not. They're all created in the image of God and all that. They are an inferior culture. Yes! They sacrificed human sacrifices, bro. What are we talking about? So, of course, she responded. It was amazing. Amazing response.
On this hill. I'm specifically talking about the Inca here. We're not talking about the Mexica. That's a whole separate type of sacrifice. If we're just looking at Tawantinsuyu, the Quechua people of the Incan Empire, they practiced sacrifices like most other civilizations throughout history did in times of crisis. So
not Jewish civilizations or Christian civilizations. None of those ever did human sacrifice, ever. Actually, it turns out, I think that's a pretty good line in the sand for what makes cultures better than others, though, I'll be real.
So, famine, natural disasters. But the unique thing about the Quechua is that when you're looking at like the Incan civilization, you essentially have the elites and then you have everyone else. Sacrifices were volunteers from the elite class.
Oh, the elites convinced their soldiers to volunteer to sacrifice themselves. Bro, This changed the game.
They believed the elites were closer to the gods and could therefore appease them. In terms of sacrifice, they were kind about it. Hear me out.
They were kind about their human sacrifices, guys.
Because unlike the Mexica, when you're like ripping out a still beating heart out of someone's chest, the Inca would intentionally use coca leaves and would use chicha and would drug up the sacrifice on a mountain, a cold, chilly mountain, to be exposed to the elements. Which, if you're a volunteer sacrifice where you're heavily drugged before you die, also, I mean,
All right, what do you want me to say? What is this argument?
and I can equate human sacrifice throughout history to so many things. And I think the fact that a lot of people are commenting, oh, but the sacrifice is again indicative of white education.
Oh, you are such a white racist, thinking that it's bad when cultures sacrifice children.
Because you are knowing them for the bad things that they have done and not all of the wonders that they accomplished.
Yeah, they did a lot of cool things. They also are an inferior fucking culture. They sacrifice their children. Like, what do you want me to tell you? It is an inferior culture. I don't think there's anything racist in recognizing the fact that, thank God, our culture is better than that. I have everyone in my chat trying their absolute best to debunk my claim, all right? All the gay-theists are popping out of the little hellholes and telling me how I'm wrong because of Abraham and Isaac. Oh, you mean the sacrifice that didn't happen? Yeah, there was no sacrifice. That didn't happen. Jesus was sacrificed. Jesus was sacrificed, like, for the sins, metaphorically. It wasn't some human sacrifice to bring rain, all right? It wasn't the intention of Pontifex, whatever the fuck his name was, that killed him, all right? What are we doing? Huh? What are you? Nice try, chat. Nice try. Not once. Not a single time. Not one. What about Salem witch trials? Those were not sacrifices. They executed people they thought were witches. Not sacrifices. All right? Again, you're wrong. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is, there are inferior cultures, actually. There are. Moloch? Yeah, Moloch wasn't Jews or Christians. They were pagans. Good point. Good point, goat. Thank you for bringing that one up. Hell yeah, dude. Very cool. Yeah, she defends the human sacrifices. Because, of course, because if you are a libtard in the modern era libtard, that's what it's all about. The modern era libtard needs you to think that every culture is equal inherently, because all peoples are inherently equal. There is no difference between any people or any upbringings or any cultures or any of that. That is literally what they do. Okay, that's crazy.
Now, this is a letter that you might write if this guy had, say, lost his license because he got too many speeding tickets or something, or if he got picked up by the IRS because he didn't file his taxes on time. It is not, to any sane person, an appropriate letter to write when Kalina was just convicted for hitting a 12-year-old girl in the head, abducting her, sexually assaulting her, and then texting her to see when he could do it again. In no universe should an unrepentant rapist receive the strong and heartfelt support of anyone.
I agree.
Much less an entire...
He is completely correct. He is completely absolutely fucking hell, dude. And anyone that even supports this is someone that should honestly be on a fucking a list somewhere. It's insane.
A community of people, much less a community of people that we have invited into our home, into our country. Nor should this community of people repeatedly refer to this brutal sexual assault as a situation, which is probably the single most dismissive word they could have chosen.
Yeah, true. This situation is crazy. Dude, the Pontifex Pilate situation with Jesus, that was wild. Bro! Stop, bro. You can't call it a situation. Yo, remember that whole Twin Towers situation that happened on 9/11? Yeah, I heard of that situation. This is fucking crazy, man. It is insane.
And on top of that, they shouldn't brag that he's funneling money out of the U.S. economy and sending it back to Somalia. But the most revealing part of the letter is when Somalis that wrote this letter explain that Kalina, quote, has faced the challenge of starting over in a new culture.
Well, that's implying that there's something different about the cultures, isn't it?
Well, that's about as explicit as it gets. Apparently, in Somali culture, at least according to the people who wrote this letter, this is what they're implying. Yeah. When a young girl is alone and defenseless.
Yeah, what an insane thing to even include in the thing. It's like, listen, man, he didn't know better. Yes, he's a 40-year-old man that kidnapped and raped a 12-year-old, but in his defense, it's really hard. It's really hard looking at the new culture that he's a part of and trying his best to
doing
get
one
with the
job
grain. Bro,
doesn't make us pals.
What are we doing?
Got it.
The Holocaust drama is insane, guys. Like, bro, stop. This is horrible. And yes, people have to be aware of it. Absolutely. All right, you have a dude that grew up getting used to
come
raping
to think of
12-year-olds
it,
where
well,
he used to
good
come
luck.
from, and now he moves to your
Looks of it,
neighborhood.
you're gonna
What
need
the fuck
it.
do you think he's gonna do? It's unreal.
In her backyard, you can sexually assault her as much as you want. And indeed, the statistics bear that out. Somalia ranks as the top country in the world for sexual violence against children.
Wait, what?
Among other abuses.
Holy shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. If that's true, like, what are we doing? Literally, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
And that's what they're very clearly implying here. Therefore, according to this letter, we should have some sympathy for this poor guy. After all, he's just having trouble getting used to our peculiar little customs in the United States. Apparently very difficult to adjust to this whole thing where we don't sexually assault children.
Yeah, true.
You know, just like it's tough to learn, say, the rules of baseball or tipping etiquette when you go out to eat.
It's crazy.
It's just like that. And that's the position of this Islamic center in St. Paul. He's adjusting to our culture and having some growing pains when it comes to the whole, you know, not
raping babies thing. Yeah, that's been difficult. That's been fun. That's been tough. Listen, man, everyone has growing pains, you know? You get married, you get invited to your in-laws for the first time, and they're like, you know, things are different, you know? It's not exactly the way you grew up. It's not exactly the way you grew up, you know? That's what this guy was like, trying his best not to rape 12-year-olds. Yeah, absolutely. They are enhancing our country on a massive scale.
Actually abusing children thing. Never mind the fact that at the time of this attack, Linnell had lived in the United States for nearly 2 decades.
Oh,
so he
my
had
God.
quite a bit of time to get used to our laws and customs. And more importantly, you're supposed to ignore the fact
Bro
that...
is probably walking down the street looking at all those raping children like, these people don't know what it's really like. These people don't get the promise. These people, they don't know. They don't know. They don't know what's good. Dude's walking down like a fucking gangster. All these fucking white retards that aren't raping children. Oh my God. Wow, what losers.
that regardless of where you were raised, you should know at an instinctual level that it's one of the most profound evils imaginable to assault a child.
Agreed.
It doesn't require education to know this. It doesn't require customs.
Well, actually, I guess it does. Actually, it turns out I guess look, man, they all have sex slaves. Child sex slaves. All right. The Houthis, Hamas, Syria, they did this. They do this to Yazidi people. They did this to the Kurds. It's unreal, bro. It is unreal. Little fucking, in my opinion, gross. It's just a fact. It is, and they do it, and they do it to children. And realistically, if you open your borders and you invite them in en masse, you really don't think it's gonna make it a little less safe, perhaps, for some people? Like, I think honestly, it's a weaponized ignorance that a lot of people are doing. All right, I think a lot of people are trying to weaponize this ignorance and trying to make believe that, well, all cultures are the same, and that's why the media tries to hide it so much. That's why you have walking fentanyl zombie number 2 over here. You have this fucking guy out of jail. All right, they don't even want to announce that they're arresting them because you might become racist. So they just release these motherfuckers. Catch and release, baby. What if they call you racist? They don't want you to realize that they're importing, honestly, you know, some kind of fucking idiots. That's why you have to wake up. That's why you absolutely have to wake up. And obviously this isn't like an all Somalian issue. It really isn't. But it is a Somalian culture issue. It absolutely is.
Doesn't require anything but a shred of conscience. It requires having the moral awareness of a human being instead of, say, a lizard. With this letter, the Somali community in Minnesota is acknowledging that by their own words. They don't have that level of moral awareness, which means quite simply that they don't have any business being in this country. They should be deported from their temporary protected status, which has gone on.
Literally, why would you invite people into our country if it makes our country less safe or makes our country worse? Like, literally, why would we do this? Why the fuck would we do this?
For 34 years should be immediately rescinded.
Yeah, shout out to Isaac. Shout out to Isaac, who says that you're racist if you notice patterns.
Really losing children is part of the culture, then as they're implying, as the statistics really do bear out, then this culture should not be permitted to enter the U.S. under any circumstance.
Yeah.
Now, to be clear, I'm not cherry-picking one letter here. The Al Hassan Islamic Center in St. Paul sent this letter to the judge on behalf of the Somali community, but they weren't the only ones to voice their support for this unapologetic predator.
No.
I went looking through the docket on the case, and I found that many of this guy's family and close associates wrote letters to the judge as well.
Dude, if I had a family member that kidnapped a 12-year-old and raped them, I would disown them immediately. There would be I would never talk to them ever again. I wouldn't visit them in prison. Listen, they would be dead to me. They would be fucking dead to me. immediately. This is insanity. This is crazy.
And they all said the same thing. Here's how prosecutors summarized those letters in their sentencing memo to the judge. Quote, finally, defendant's family and friends do not acknowledge his actions, the impact they had on the victim, or recognize his wrongdoing. The statements show that either defendant has not told them what he is convicted of, or that they are dismissive of his crime. Family members are focused on the impact that this has had on him and his family. None of them acknowledge the victim and her family.
Bro,
While they cite that he's a person of good character, it is more likely that this offense is a side of him they did not know about, nor do they want to know about. But quite simply, sexual assault on a child is not something a person of good character does. is the
Yeah, you don't
understatement of the
say.
sentence. The victim's mother.
Listen, man, it's just not a thing we do here, all right? Like, we try our best, all right? We try, all right? All right, raping children, we try. Listen, we try, okay? It's illegal, in fact. Bro, what is going on?
Also stated that she and her family have been receiving death threats within the Somali community because of this case.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I needed to get up. I need to walk around for a minute. I'm in shock. I'm actually in shock. The mother of this 12-year-old who was kidnapped and raped was getting death threats from Somalians because they caused their bro to get arrested. They're like, you caused our friend to get arrested by letting your very sexy 12-year-old daughter play in her target. What the fuck? This is nutty! It's nutty! It's actual nutty! Wood chippers, baby! What are we doing? Oh my lord!
Yes, members of the Somali community are currently threatening to murder the victim's mother.
Oh my god!
That's how they're responding to the fact that this woman.
Okay, dude, think before you sleep literally just messaged me something. Uh-oh. He just messaged me something. Oh god, it's Twitter. Oh fuck, what's this? I don't know if he's watching the stream. Oh no. Pakistani immigrants are demanding that Japan changes its culture to fit Islam. There's no way this is true, bro.
こちらのパキスタン人親子。
皆さんは通われてるんですか？そうです。私たちの子供がイスラム教が。
Our children are Muslim, so at kindergarten.
言うとクリスマスとかあとハロウィンとかそれで。
They don't celebrate any of that stuff.
でももうやらしてないです。その日は休んでる。
熱い信仰心。
イスラム教はこれでのはもう全然ないから。欲しい？欲しい。やらない全然やらない。
本格的ガチ〇〇シリーズ。まず大阪に入ってみると店内のウルデュー語。そう、ここはガチパキスタン。お店の真向かい大阪有数のモスク。廃を得たイスラム教徒。この店になる。
Again, I have no problem with people, bringing parts of their culture to other countries. I don't feel like that's a problem. It's the whole invade and change other countries.
まさに西淀川に広がるイスラム世界。全くの世界。時に日本に今後。
Oh my god, dude. My children are Muslim. I don't let them celebrate Japanese festivals. Instead, they take the day off from school. There's no Islam in Japan. Japan needs to become more multicultural. Why, bro? So go back. I don't understand. So go back. Why is changing the country you go to the goal? It's like you leave a shithole, okay, to go to a glorious country to turn it into a shithole. What are we doing? Oh my god, dude.
Woman's daughter was brutally attacked and sexually assaulted by a member of their community. They're responding by threatening to kill the victim's mom.
Fuck, dude, that's crazy.
They're continuing to terrorize the family as a community. And by the way, at trial, Colonel made it clear that he blames the victim's mother for what happened. Certainly doesn't blame himself. And that might seem insane to you or to me or to any civilized person, but not to this.
Yeah, I find it pretty crazy that you blame the mom of the 12-year-old that was raped. Yeah, I find that pretty weird.
Wonderful community, it would seem. Now, you could tell in that paragraph I just read that they're trying to search for some plausible reason why all of the Somalis involved in this case are defending this man. Like, to a man, they are all defending him.
That's crazy.
And he says that, well, maybe the family didn't know that side of him. This is the kind of line that if you're a prosecutor in Minnesota, you have to include in your argument, even in the face of overwhelming evidence that Somalis have no business in this country. Prosecutors still have to pretend that we're dealing with one or two bad apples who can be
crazy. It's like, oh, they just didn't know that he was a pedophile. Yes, they're still defending him even though he raped a child, but they didn't know in their defense. What are we doing? What are we fucking doing, bro? This is insane. Like people are trying so hard to be blind to the fact that cultures are different, and some cultures are better and worse than others, that they are literally inviting people into our country to rape our children. What are we doing? Like, literally, what are we doing? And you know what? I'll tell you something. While I think that everything I'm saying is perfectly logical, you will show this to your average liberal white girl in college, they will think I am the most hardcore, raging racist of all time. Like, this is insanity.
to be reformed. Even when the entire Somali community rushes to defend this scumbag and attacks the victim's family, that's the fiction that apparently needs to be maintained. In the end, the Somalis got what they wanted. And that shouldn't be surprising since they effectively control the government in Minnesota at this point. The judge, Michael Burns, handed out a sentence of just 12 years in this case, with release from prison after 10 years, and the rest served on probation.
In 10 years, this dude's gonna be back out on the street. He just learned his lesson. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? This is insane. This is crazy.
He's going to do 10 years in prison for abducting and sexually assaulting a child out of her parents' backyard.
This should literally be a penis guillotine. Penis guillotine, and then you put him foot first into the wood chipper while it's on slow. Okay? Make an event out of it. Invite the neighborhood. Okay? Break out the barbecue grills and slowly but surely lower him into the penis guillotine machine. Alright? I don't know why we are considering this even remotely acceptable. Literally kill him. According to the law, death penalty. Fucking hell, dude.
10 years. This is a sentence that, without any doubt whatsoever, should have been life imprisonment at a minimum.
Agreed.
Assuming the sharks and the firing squad weren't available. But that won't happen.
Walsh never heard of the penis guillotine. But once he convert him to penis guillotine, that is the only thing he's going to think about.
Because of Minnesota's laws, which are extremely permissive when it comes to child abuse, Kalina will be out on the streets in just a few years. Again, this is nothing new in Minneapolis or the UK, where Somali rape gangs are particularly active.
True.
They don't often report on cases like this in a local...
Completely true. They don't even talk about it because they don't want to make people racist. I don't know. I'm still scarred by that one case in the UK. That one case in the UK when there was this lady that was raped, and she said that she was raped by a Muslim. And they arrested both the rapist and the victim, and the victim's years in prison were longer than the rapist for hate speech. I remember that case happening. I think it's like a one-time case, but it doesn't matter. This is like that's fucking abominable. How do you not just literally rebel against the fucking government at that point?
News, but they're increasingly common. Here's another case from an apartment complex in Minneapolis a few years ago to give you some idea of how these stories are covered if the media touches them at all. Watch this.
We begin this evening with a disturbing story about a 10-year-old girl who was sexually assaulted by a stranger.
Minneapolis
stranger. Just a stranger.
Police say it happened Sunday evening in the hallway of an apartment building in the Cedar Riverside neighborhood. Police arrested 34-year-old Ahmed Hirsi Abdi.
Honestly, I think he could pass for a white guy. He could pass for a white guy.
Then 24 hours later, as Angela Davis shows us,
he's a stranger. It's just a youth.
Court records show he has a history of mental illness.
I don't know, maybe some sick person did this, but
maybe some sick person did this.
I couldn't believe it.
A criminal complaint
couldn't believe it
states that neighbors heard screams on the third-floor hallway. When they found a young girl crying, they ran to get help from 2 off-duty Minneapolis police officers. The victim told police that a man, later identified as Ahmed Abdi, followed her in and out of an elevator. And as she walked,
it was just a stranger.
Up down a hallway, he asked for her name. The complaint states he then extended his hand to her. When she shook his hand, he refused to let go.
Now, they don't tell you where Ahmed...
A 10-year-old! And like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's so gross. It's vile. It's vile, bro.
And Hirsi Abdi came from? They don't tell you.
In defense of Ahmed Abdi, he might have been a a white gay man. Maybe his old name was John Smythe, all right, from England, and then he changed it. Maybe.
Tell you if he's legally in this country or who allowed him to enter.
Possibly white. In his defense. Now, obviously, there are fucking white pedophiles. This isn't to say that that's not the case. There are pedophiles in every single culture. There literally are. Because pedophiles is not it's not a political issue. It's not a historical issue. It's a biological issue. And some people are fucking freaks. They absolutely are fucking freakos. However, the difference is some cultures just kind of make it okay. That's the problem. The problem is some people are like, yeah, raping children's actually not so bad, it turns out. I'm pretty sure in Somalia, they didn't even classify sexual assault as a crime until a few years ago. Like, that's how backwards some of this shit is. And that's a whole other level.
Instead, they refer to him as a stranger. They tell us he's mentally ill, and then they spend...
One chatter in my chat right now saying, are you making fun of Muslim pedophiles to take attention away from the IDF bombing unarmed people? This is everything. I'm telling you, there's one train of thought. How can you be talking about a pedophile when there's literally a genocide happening? What Like, what are we doing? Can we not think of two things at the same time, bro? Are two things not allowed to happen simultaneously? Oh my God, dude. Why is everyone so retarded? And I'll be real. Unlike in this situation where you have adults raping children, which is indefensible, and there is absolutely zero reason why it should ever happen, all right? Israel is fighting a war that they didn't start that Hamas could have ended. That is literally not as bad as armies of child rapists.
And the rest of the segment talking about various resources for sexual assault survivors. But the one resource they don't talk about, even though it would drastically cut down in cases like this, is the resource known as mass deportation. And that's clearly necessary at this point because we're not dealing, again, with one or two bad actors. This is an endemic problem in the culture.
I think he's right.
7 years ago, a region in Somalia established a new lab to investigate sexual assaults. And I'm going to play this for you and see if you notice anything in this report.
Somalia has opened its first forensic laboratory to investigate rape cases. The lab, with support from the Swedish government and the UN Population Fund, brings cutting-edge technology to a part of the world still lacking paved roads and reliable electricity.
We used to send DNA from here to Nairobi or from here to South Africa. So those restraints now are easy. We can manage this and get answers within timely period, within hours, within minutes, when we used to have days, sometimes months to get through.
The lab opened less than a year after the Puntland region passed its first law criminalizing sexual offenses.
2018 is when they passed their first law criminalizing sexual offenses. Sexual offenses weren't crimes until 2018. Bruh, what the fuck, bro? What are we doing, guys? Yeah, and you're gonna tell me that all cultures are the same? Like, these people are retarded. The IDubs retards that sit there and preach racism, like, you're all crazy. You're fucking insane people. That means they didn't view rape as a bad thing, okay? Do you want someone that doesn't view rape as a bad thing in your country? What?
There are some police officers who say rape is not a big deal, and
There are some police officers who say rape, not a big deal. You see, I'm the real feminist, all right? All the fake feminists out there that want to import people from the third world, those are the fake feminists. I'm a real feminist because I actually don't want women to get raped. All right? Oh my God, bro, we are reaching a cultural zenith. Okay, we are reaching a cultural zenith, ladies and gentlemen. The actual fucking
Yeah, I can see your chat. I just don't.
Bro,
I need a
if you
better
think
monitor
rape
for my
is
chat
bad,
screens.
You're not inclusive enough, guys. Okay? You are not inclusive enough to another exactly equal culture.
consider it a minor thing. They say it is nothing new.
Keith Shamis Kabibail is the only police officer in her unit. She handles all cases involving sexual violence in Puntland. Officer Bile says many of her rape cases are handled by community elders. The perpetrator's family may be ordered to pay the victim's family in camels or goats.
This isn't real. This isn't real, right? You rape a woman, you give the woman's dad a goat? No cultures are inferior. No cultures are inferior, ladies and gentlemen. Everything's the same. Everyone is equal. Yes, bringing in 100 of these people into your neighborhood will not make your neighborhood any less safe at all. They have the same values as you. All humans are blank slates. What? Bro, this isn't 1,000 years ago. This was filmed in 2018. This was filmed in 2018.
And that is just the cases that women report.
So as of
yeah,
2017,
I guess
Somalia
you could say it's my
just
favorite
got
game.
around to criminalizing sexual assault. And then with much fanfare, they open a sexual assault forensic center. And the victims, if they're compensated at all, will be rewarded with camels or goats.
I like building games. I mean, I've played other like Elder Scrolls and stuff like that, but
I'll be real here.
Grand Theft Auto I play.
Rude. Not only did they rape your daughter, but they don't even give you a goat in return. Honestly, fucking horrible. But the real question is, do you get to pick if you want camels or goats? These are the questions everyone's asking.
I play World
and
of
no one has
Warcraft
the answer
occasionally,
for.
but
That's an actual news report from Somalia. Now you have to ask.
I'm in shock.
I got.
Actually, this sounds like something out of
I
South
play
Park, but this is real.
Civilization.
And you have communities of people that are just brought
I don't
from
really do
countries that, I'll be real, have
the
inferior
Minecraft
cultures.
games and stuff
Okay,
like that.
And you know, I'll be real. Cenk Younger might appreciate the goat in return, but most people would not.
People in this country realize that
When I do
Somali
my
culture is
afternoon
this
stream,
backwards?
I'll probably
Was
do
there
a
ever
new
thought of
game.
allowing this into our country?
That's a really good point. That is a really good point. In this so-called democracy, no one... How are these fucking decisions made? How are these decisions made? I didn't even consider this. I didn't even think about this, but that's true. Holy shit. This is
usually
wild.
try to
Was there
stream
ever any
daily,
kind of
but
national conversation
I have a
whatsoever
day job.
about this?
Today
There was
just
no-
happens to
there
be
was
maybe
no
my
vote.
day
I don't
off.
think anyone knows. I think it's some shadowy
I
cabal
stream
fucking
five.
shit.
Usually
It's
start
the
streaming at
Libtard-
5 o'clock
the
at night,
Libtard organization
and
fucking
stream as long as I
Don't worry,
can.
guys, you don't need to have children. We'll just
I
bring in
try to do it every day,
and these
but
immigrants
on my
are
days
superior in
off,
every single way. Their culture is just better.
I mean,
guys,
if
I'm
I'm
telling you.
gonna be playing video games, I might
This
as
is
well be
wild.
streaming.
Yeah, no, this is not me being racist. This is me being awake and noticing that there are some cultures that are inferior than other cultures. So, a funny story.
I'm thinking about doing
there was a
commentary
man that was,
streams
substantially older than my mother,
if I get a larger
when
I get a
that
larger
went to
audience.
my grandfather and offered if he could purchase.
Try to be
my
a little
mother
more
for
optimistic
9
about
camels.
this.
My grandfather promptly said, "Only 9 camels? Absolutely not," and slammed the door on him. My grandfather.
I'm originally
Okay,
from
he's a
Chicago,
funny man,
but I
he lived really
currently
well.
live in
This
Pennsylvania.
is a real true story that happened. Now, yeah, I'll be honest. That is a real true story. It was 9 camels, actually. She was easily worth 10. And dude was a bit skimpy on the camels.
Or did we just decide to grant these foreigners temporary protection?
Since you called me
status
mate,
34
I'm
years ago?
assuming you're from the UK
Ruined so many of my
or Australia.
relationships. This dude came to... Okay, alright, this is the last story. Dude came to my grandfather's house to pick up my mother for a date. And my grandfather went, opened the door, saw the guy. Saw the dude was dressed like, let's say, rather unkempt. Okay, rather unkempt dress. He reached into his pocket, he took out a $1 bill. He put it in his hand and he closed the door. Like, I love him. He's amazing.
Hey,
God,
hey.
he's a real legend. I love that guy.
Flood into the country by hundreds of thousands with no checks and no conversation whatsoever about it. Put simply, we cannot be surprised when we import massive.
Oh,
numbers
I've
of
only
people
been
from a
streaming
third
for,
world hellhole,
like,
and then they go on
3
to commit
weeks.
Horrible crimes.
Yeah,
This
not
kind of behavior
surprising.
is part of the culture. They have said that themselves. And they always have. That doesn't mean that every Somali commits these crimes or wants to. It means that the risk is unacceptably high for people that we are welcoming into our home.
He is right. Like, I'll be honest, it's not accepted in our culture or society for
Asshole.
this to happen. And if I knew someone that was a pedophile, I would immediately never talk to them ever again. It's that disgusting and
Sure.
horrible to me. All right, it is literally that disgusting and horrible. I would pull out the penis guillotine immediately. It's that unacceptable. Now, in a culture where it's fine,
Sure,
we
go
don't
ahead and share it.
want those people in our community. You know, I'm not trying to be racist here. Just trying to protect my family. Like, I don't know why at all this is a thing.
And given this very obvious fact, it's time for someone in power to answer this fundamental question. Why would we ever let anyone from a culture like
I
this
actually have
into
somebody
our
working
country
on that right
in
now.
any capacity, under any circumstance? Here's another way of phrasing the question. How does it benefit the United States of America to allow this culture into our country?
It doesn't.
Explain to me what the
It does
benefit
not.
is to
It
this.
is purely altruistic for them, but it's for them at the expense
If
of
you
perhaps
want,
us.
but I already
It's
have somebody working on
insane.
that stuff.
It's insane. Now, whenever I hear things like this,
I have
believe in the fucking
themes and
shadow
everything
government.
already picked
You
out.
don't think there's some shadow government controlling shit? Because otherwise, why would this decision ever be made? If not for nefarious reasons. Like, literally why? Come on, dude.
This country, ours. And now that we've made this mistake and allowed it, when are we going to rectify this situation? For that matter, why are we allowing anyone to live here of any ethnicity or nationality who rejects every foundational principle this country stands for?
Good point.
And it's not just Somalis who openly denounce America's interests, morality, customs. Just the other day, Illinois Congresswoman, who's a member of Congress, Delia Ramirez, went to Mexico City to announce, quote, "I'm a proud Guatemalan before I'm an American."
I showed that to you.
Now, this is in Spanish, but we'll play the clip here.
Hablarles en español porque yo soy guatemalteca con mucho orgullo, primero que soy americana.
Insane.
Delia
Why would anyone say that? How could anyone say that? I don't know why we are accepting this. Like, it's insane. So leave, go back to Guatemala. I don't understand. We want the best for you, okay? Go there.
Samira, as you should know, is the daughter of illegal aliens from Guatemala.
No way.
She was reportedly born in Chicago for some reason. She's a walking example of why this administration.
Well,
should
I'm not going
continue
to
the
tell
fight
you
to
that.
end
That's somebody.
birthright
That's
citizenship.
somebody else's business.
And she's a
man.
reminder, as we've discussed, that not everyone in this country.
This is a hostile invasion. It is. So when I say deport every illegal immigrant, and I get so much shit for it, but when I say deport every illegal immigrant, I absolutely mean it. Every single person that is illegal in the country needs to leave immediately. Then you can worry about deporting the people that actually want the downfall of America. But I feel like that's the next step. All right, the Hassan Pikers. Okay, the people that are outwardly propagandizing people to destroy our country. All right, those guys, get them out. Also, all right, but that's the next step. The first step: every person illegal in the country should not be in the country. Unfortunately, he was born here. Don't care. Do not care.
You gotta behave yourself.
He wants the downfall of Western civilization? Well, then he shouldn't be invited in Western civilization. I don't know why we, as a people, need to stand to have people subversive retards showing up to straight up destroy us from the inside. Like, I have no idea why we need to tolerate this shit at all. It's insane.
Country isn't American, even the ones with legal status.
We gotta enact the Anti-Communism Act, all right, because those are real laws that still exist, all right, the Deport Communist fucking Act. Like, this is crazy. It's insane.
Because you have ones with legal status. I'm a Guatemalan before I'm an American. How much clearer can they possibly be? All cultures are created equal, is what we're told.
Yep,
but it's one of the many great
lie.
lies of modern
For sure.
times.
I agree with him completely.
Many of our problems in the West are born from this lie. A lot of people have pretended otherwise over the years. They've invented various justifications for allowing these people to destroy entire cities in this country. But now that Somalis have finally told the truth about their culture to a judge in Minneapolis, and now that members of Congress are admitting their disloyalty to audiences in Mexico City,
so all I can hope is the future. All right, I hope that in the future we will be more careful with who we invite into the country. But I don't see us actually doing anything like that. I could just hope. I want every illegal immigrant deported. All right, and I want to be careful with future imports. Because realistically, if you have X amount of slots, those slots should go to people that would literally be a benefit to our country. Otherwise, why do we need to do favors for the universe?
there simply isn't anything to debate anymore. All we have to do is read their words, listen to them, pay attention to their actions, and respond accordingly. If you'd like to see what else...
I agree with him, to be honest. I agree with him. We have to recognize this. This whole bullshit of, you know, everyone is created equal. I mean, you know, every culture is equal. No cultures are better than others. Like, these are not true. Okay, these are not true statements. As I just showed you with the child sacrifice thing, they are objectively untrue statements. Now, I wish nothing but love and success for all of these cultures. I don't want anything bad to befall any of them. In fact, I want them to pick themselves up and make something of themselves. Be inspired by, you know, the Western cultures, which are better. All right? Be inspired and improve. Absolutely. And I don't want any bad to come to these people. But why should we sacrifice ourselves, all right, and our children and our future, all right, for people that want to destroy us? I don't know why even remotely we need to care about any of that whatsoever. That is fucking insane. Now, I wanted to wrap up with this. Speaking of cultures, this is an airline in Sweden that released probably the worst video of the year. And so I want you to lock in. Speaking of culture, this is the worst video of all time, of the year at the very least, to show you that woke is dead, but only in America. Woke is very alive in Europe. This is talking about how, I think it's Scandinavians or whatever, have no culture. And all of the goodness in Scandinavia is because of imports.
What is truly Scandinavian? Absolutely nothing.
That's right, Scandinavian is nothing, because white people have no culture and no past and are not native to anything. White people are native people with no culture.
Nada.
There is no such thing.
Everything is copied. Our democracy? Credit goes to Greece. Parental leave?
Thank you, Switzerland.
The iconic Scandinavian windmills were actually invented in Persia, and we made the German bicycle a staple of our cities. It's Turkish.
What?
Smørrebrød? Dutch.
What about licorice?
It's Chinese and
Midsommarstången.
German.
And gets worse. Rumor has it the oh-so-Swedish meatballs might not be as Swedish as you think, but Turkish.
Even the Danish isn't Danish.
It's Austrian and the pride of Norway. The paperclip was actually invented by an American.
And while we're at it,
America, thank you for taking the first steps in empowering the women's rights movement.
Go America!
We're no better than
Our Viking ancestors.
I had to pause it there. I'm sorry. This is my favorite part of the video.
the women's rights movement. We're no better
Than our Viking ancestors.
Brother, you did not have Viking ancestors. I'll be real. Okay? You didn't have Viking ancestors. Okay? Sir, you're black. I don't know if anyone told you this. I don't know if you are aware. Vikings were not. Sir, you do not have Viking ancestors. Okay? You are cringe. That's what you are, bro. You are cringe. Okay? What are we fucking doing, guys? Alright, so when I see a video like this, alright, when this dude's saying that we're no better than our Viking ancestors, spit in your mouth and make you swallow, motherfucker. This is insanity. This is absolute insanity. Hate yourself, hate your heritage, don't be proud of who you are. You are nothing that came from nothing. The only thing that is good about you are things that you are taking from other people.
We take everything we like on our trips abroad, adjust it a little bit, and voila! It's a unique Scandinavian thing. Going out into the world inspires us to think big, even though we're quite small. Because every time we go beyond our borders, we add colors, innovation, progress. Adding the best of everywhere to here.
Yeah, this is the worst ad, by the way, ever made.
In a way, Scandinavia was brought here, piece by piece, by everyday people who found the best of our home away from home. So, we can't wait to see what wonderful things you'll bring home next.
Yeah, the Swedish Airlines thing. This might be the worst advertisement of all time. I wanted to show this to you to show you that this shit is so alive. They hate you, okay? Think about it from this lens, okay? The libtards of the world, okay, will come together and tell you that there are no superior or inferior cultures. All cultures are equal, except for white people. White people have no culture. Do you recognize not only the hypocrisy, but the retardation that we're dealing with? Thank you so much for being here. This is the most racist video I ever made, and I'm so proud that I made it. Definitely subscribe for more racism. And I'll see you in the next one, gamers. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam. Bad times create strong men create good times create strong women create bad times. Welcome to a brand new video. That's how the quote goes. Don't ask questions, don't cancel me. That's the quote. I didn't say it, they said it. I didn't say it, that's what they said. Thank you for being here. Today we are looking into the male loser epidemic. Alright, apparently Shuon had crashed out. Apparently she features me in this video. I do not know. I don't know. All I'm saying is I don't know. All I'm saying is apparently I'm in here somewhere. I'm sure I'm gonna get absolutely lambasted at some point. So lock in, boys and girls. This is going to be one of the deepest dives of all time into modern male losers. Now, I think it's a literal
Everybody see the new kitten?
faceted issue. On the one hand, you have the American left, which is telling men to be weak little beta pussies and that women should do everything in society, which is bad for men and bad for women. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you have the right side of history saying that, all right, men, you have very simple tasks and you gotta fist yourselves in the asshole. Okay, maybe that's over exaggerating, but lock in, boys and girls. We're about to have a woman explain to us about male losers. It's gonna be awesome.
Hello again, friends.
Hello, Kami Mommy.
I have been gone for quite a bit. Hopefully nothing too crazy happens. I feel like every time I take a war breaks out or something, but thankfully that did not happen.
True! No Americans died. There was no war. It was not a war. Alright, I stand by this. It was not a war. It was simply infection. Alright, America defecated on Iran's nuclear reactors. That does not count as a war.
But at least we found out the real Epstein files and the friend who made it.
Oh, dude, no. I can't do more Epstein shit. Oh, it's horrible. Oh my God, Trump, for the love of God. For the love of God, release the fucking list.
Along the way. Welcome back to the Shuon.
There are no Epstein lists. Okay, listen, you see, simply the Epstein list is they traffic children to no one, in fact.
Head channel, if it is your first time here, wrong. I am Shuon Head, and on this channel I like to cover cultural issues.
Men, And women sometimes too.
Mostly surrounding men's issues.
Yeah! I am so grateful that we have strong women to explain men's issues. This is a joke. I hope you know. I love Shoe on Heads videos. I think they're awesome.
It's what I've been doing for over a decade, and
like she is easily, by the way, my favorite leftist on the internet. Like without even like a shadow of a doubt, she is by far my favorite leftist on the internet. Because like she's a leftist, but she's also like, yeah, the left is like really bad, which is everything I want a leftist to be.
Frankly, I'm exhausted. Many of you have been along for the ride, and you have seen me go from a chipper, lively 24-year-old making fun of BuzzFeed and Tumblr feminists to a bitter, calloused 34-year-old talking about very real and growing men's issues.
Yeah, like Facebook posts and tweets.
One of the main men's issues I have been covering in great detail lately has been the male loneliness epidemic. Yeah, but turns out I was wrong. We don't have a male loneliness epidemic. We have a male loser epidemic.
There we go! Dude, this is my favorite fucking back-to-back. Alright, hear me out. Women be like, all the men are just losers then. That was it. That was the whole punchline. That was it. What do you think of my joke, guys? What do you think
buddy.
about it? No, but it's like every single time you hear it, it's like you have women be like, we should make as much money as men. Also, women be like, I can't go out with that guy. He doesn't even make more money than me. Like, you have like this obvious double standard. It's like you will never be happy. It's like we need to be stronger than men. Also, I will never date a man that's not stronger than me. All right, hell yeah, dude.
It's not a male loneliness epidemic. No, it's a male mediocrity epidemic.
Strong women create weak men, is what I'm saying.
It's a male loser epidemic.
The male loser epidemic has gotten so bad that it's honestly so pathetic at this point.
You are posting videos on TikTok complaining about men because you're alone and sad and pathetic. You see, I personally am a living example against the male loser epidemic. I am rich, I am successful, I have a beautiful family, and I actually don't need to expose any of that shit to the internet because I am privately behind my fucking VTuber avatar. I am living the ideal lifestyle. By glory of God.
Now, I don't always talk about men's issues. No, sometimes I talk about politics, and sometimes
That's hilarious! Politics is just men's issues. A lot of people aren't fully aware of this, but you'll see. Everyone will come around to the Nux base arc at some point. I've been very based lately. I've been getting half my videos demonetized. I don't know why. All I do is make fun of women. I'm joking. Obviously, I have nothing but respect for women. They're literally who else would clean my dishes. But what God, I can't do this. This is diabolical. The point that I'm trying to make is all of politics is actually men's issues. This is a true fact. All of politics is men's issues. Make of that what you will.
I mix the two together. Now, I know a lot of you don't like politics. You don't care about politics. But politics cares about you.
Bro! You are an unwitting, groomed victim.
And it will enter your life no matter how hard you try to avoid it. But thankfully, I have the perfect app to help you navigate the
Ground News!
confusing political landscape. So let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, Ground News.
Yeah, I actually am sponsored by Ground News also this month.
Before we get into this video, shall we? Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a fun and transparent way to read the news from all across the political spectrum.
True. You can see what the left is talking about. How Trump isn't releasing the Epstein files. And you can see what the right is talking about. How Trump isn't releasing the Epstein files.
From left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of the political bias, ownership, and headlines that helps you understand the full story and make sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features from Ground News has to be the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have been covered by only one side of the political spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here's a story about how the CIA...
Illegal immigrants kill some people. The left is silent. Left is absolutely silent. Children die in Gaza. The right has nothing to say.
Covered a Russiagate fraud, and right away we can see how it has been covered by 41 sources, and out of those 41 sources, 9...
That's fucked up. Like, that is fucked up. The fact that the left pushed a giant Russia hoax, that Russia was secretly pushing the fucking presidency, Russia was involved, and then it turns out Russia wasn't involved, it was all a lie. And then they didn't even have the balls to correct the record is diabolical.
83% of them...
You don't hate the media enough.
With only 2 left-wing outlets reporting the story. Ground News also makes it really easy to compare headlines to see just how political bias can affect the framing of a story. For example, this story about Zohran Mamdani winning the Democratic primary in New York This
actual travesty, by the way. That guy's fucking horrible.
left-leaning outlet says Zoran Mamdani's win just got a little sweeter.
Right.
And meanwhile, the right wing says, meet Zoran Mamdani, the man who will ruin New York.
So what you're saying is the right-wing news was accurate and the left-wing news was cringe. Is that what you're saying? Because that's what I'm hearing. Is that what you're saying? Interesting, interesting.
As you can see, very different vibes.
Except one's right and the other one's wrong. So listen, I'm just saying, you know, I'm just saying, one's right, one's wrong. So, you know, not a great example there.
I've been using Ground News since 2021 because I think it is so informative, so fun, and it helps me see how different stories are framed so differently, and I love it. I highly recommend it. It's one of the few apps that I wake up and...
Yeah, one big Asmongold L, by the way, because normally I really like Asmongold's takes. One big Asmongold L is that he doesn't think Mamdani's a problem. That guy's like an actual savage communist. Like, extremist communist. And there's no two ways about it. And he will fuck the city. The reason why Asmongold said he likes Mamdani is because all the other ones pledged allegiance to Israel. Bro, he pledged allegiance to Palestine. What's the difference? What's the fucking difference? Man ran his fucking campaign on Palestine in New York City.
Just immediately check. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. High praise. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all of their amazing features.
All you need to do, Asmon thinks he is a problem. He's just okay with that because he thinks the voter base will learn from being retarded. They won't learn from anything. The media tells them to be happy, and the media tells them to be sad. I don't think they're gonna learn a damn thing. Like, dude, none of these people know anything about politics. Not a single one of them knows even a remote little nothing. They don't know anything. They don't know jack shit. He's going to destroy the city. The media's gonna tell them it's good, and they're gonna be happy.
This comes out to only like $5 a month, which is like the price of
Asmon Goldstein beating the allegations. All right, enough about that guy.
of a coffee. So go to ground.news/Nux or use the QR code right there on screen.
Yeah, ground.news/Nux. Get 40% off the Vantage plan. It's true.
Or the link in the video description down there to subscribe to Ground News today. I feel like what they're doing is really important, especially right now, and it helps us approach the news in a more fair and balanced way. So thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ads.
I didn't do it this time because I knew she was gonna pressure me about it. I didn't.
Right.
Right.
Now.
Right. You see that? Right.
With all these issues men are facing, they seem to be moving to the right and the Republicans more, since the left and Democrats.
Well, I mean, we know why. It's because the left wants men dead. All right, let's be real. The left wants men absolutely cooked. Yeah, so duh.
Democrats have essentially just become the young men eat and die movement. Months ago, I covered how the Democratic Party was losing young men, and I predicted Kamala Harris would lose in part because of young men overwhelmingly voting for Trump.
True.
And I was correct. Well, now the Democrats have unveiled their final solution.
Oh shit! Oh, the final solution. The final solution. Straight from the last National Socialist Party. The final solution. Just kill all the men. Then the women will vote for whoever they want. Problem solved.
Right-wing male loser epidemic. Democrats spending millions to learn how to speak to American youth and win back the working class.
Yes, it's Hassan Piker. He's gonna do it. He is gonna do it. Listen. Hassan Piker is known for one thing and one thing only. And I'm not even talking about terrorist support, okay? Listen. Hassan Piker is the new Joe Rogan of the left. Joe Rogan used to be the Joe Rogan of the left, but not anymore. You see, this is Hassan Piker, a man that will lead the fucking men of society to become terrorist, sympathizing, radical fuckwits that will own nothing and be happy. I posted this as a response to this tweet, who is the biggest on X. Anyway!
Democrats have blown millions of dollars on efforts to appeal to American men who turned to President Donald Trump in droves on Election Day in hopes of winning back the working class. Democrats have spent $20 million on their efforts, with donors and strategists pulling up in luxury hotel rooms, brainstorming how to convince working class men to return to the party. Ah yes, nothing more relatable to working class men than luxury hotel rooms.
True! These people suck, and they're retarded, and they're stupid. Listen, man, we wouldn't be in this problem if women couldn't vote. Listen, I'm not saying that it's a solution. I'm not saying I think we should repeal any amendments here or anything. But I am saying that we would not have, we would have other problems perhaps, but not this. Listen, I'm a centrist, I promise.
Great job, guys.
Listen, I realize that my comedy is too powerful. I realize that my comedy is breaking barriers that no one has ever seen before. Definitely subscribe if you think women shouldn't vote.
The plan? Codename SAM, or Speaking with American Men, a strategic plan, promises to use the funds to study the syntax, language, and content that gains its virality in these spaces. The effort also recommends Democrats buy advertisement in video games.
Ads will not help you! Brother! Listen, if I'm trying to play my fucking random video game, you know what they mean by video game. They're just gonna put this in like Uma Musume, Genshin Impact, Gooner Slop. That's what they're gonna put ads in. Alright, you know that. This isn't gonna be a Dark Souls ad. Dark Souls, fight your foes. Vote for the Democratic Party. They're known for having men wearing lipstick. Yeah, that's not gonna work, bro. It's not gonna work. Like, bro, what are we doing? Try to pull your wife in. Genshin Impact. Also, do you want tampons in the men's bathroom?
Among other things. The Democratic Party is treating young men like exotic animals.
Bro, it's not true. The Democratic Party is treating men like retards, treating men like low IQ, pathetic losers that don't understand the greater good, aren't empathetic enough, and they're all just actually assaulters and rapists. Except we're not gonna say that out loud. We're just gonna have to be pretty realistic about this. Now, that is how the Democratic Party treats men. Right? They don't say that because they don't want to push you away even further, but that is how they treat you. They treat you like a low IQ, retard, rapist, scum of the earth, problem of society that needs to be dealt with and manhandled like a dog or a pet. That is how the Democratic Party treats men, and men know that. All right, they really do. It's like, how could we stop men from just being completely out of control of their urges? Bro, what? Like, what are you talking about?
Now, as you can see here, is the young man in his natural habitat.
Yes.
In a dark, messy...
But you have to understand the crazy part about Asmongold. The funniest part about Asmongold is that he does appeal to men because he does what he wants and he's not apologetic about his opinions. He's not just like some beta that's just always gonna apologize for things that he said. Realistically, he's not like married, building a family, doing stuff like that. So I could argue why you might not appreciate his contribution to society, but I do. I really think he has contributed positively to society.
Cave surrounded by Taco Bell wrappers and empty Mountain Dew.
Peak male physique. That was the first time he tried water. That was when he tried water for the first time. Beautiful.
Here is another young man.
Destiny, that's a girl's name, bro. That's a girl's name.
As you can see, also dwelling in a dark cave. This
we have allegations that he filmed somebody privately and released the nudes. Like, bro, you're like, dude, the leftist example, like the peak leftist physique. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Is this really peak leftist? Really? Is peak leftist like guy that was in open relationships, divorced twice, the son that hates him and is fully down the Nazi rabbit hole? Like, really, bro? Is this what we're doing?
Here is another young man, as you can see, also dwelling in a dark cave. This one has dyed his hair blue to scare off potential predators. Unfortunately, it also relates.
I mean, true. Even wives.
Moving on, here is another...
Brother, that was a crazy jump scare. Bro, what the hell, man? I did not deserve this level of abuse. How dare you? Holy schmiblets. Why did she mirror image it? Oh, because I'm talking about Pokimane being a retard bitch. Understandable.
Young man, we think...
That's diabolical.
We're not quite sure about this.
Like it or not, this is peak male form, alright? I get to live a life of privacy and solitude. I make way more money than I deserve. Thank God. And I have a beautiful family that I'm very proud of and that I love with my whole heart. Love it or hate it, this is peak male physique. I say things that I am not scared to say on the internet, no matter who comes after me. I make a living, I support my family, and I do it from the privacy of my own home without even at all risking shit. In complete serenity. Love it or hate it, I am the peak male form.
This one we're still studying.
That is crazy that she pulled me up though, I'm not gonna lie. Like, oh, like why? Out of everyone!
Listen.
I do appreciate it though, Shoe on Head. That's very cool. You are honestly my favorite role model for men on the left. So, listen, we have a lot in common. We have a lot in common, you and I. Not so different, you and I think you're the biggest role model for men on the left, because everyone else that talks to men on the left is a complete fucking retard. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to left-wing politics, brother. Everyone else is retarded. You're the only person on the left that doesn't just completely fuck up your own life.
Democrats, instead of spending $20 million to do that stupid, maybe you should, I don't know, actually listen to men. I listen to men for free all the time. All I have to do is read my comment section. Let's see here. Shoe on Head is a perfect example of why we need to repeal the 19.
Oh my fucking god, dude. That's definitely a Nux fan that entered your comments. I'm so sorry, Shoe on Head. I do apologize sincerely. I didn't deserve to do. You didn't deserve this.
Greetings from Albania. I hate women so much, it's unreal.
All right, again, listen. If she does some sort of debate and it turns out this is my comment section, I am going to lose my mind.
Ooh, shoo, mommy, milkies, 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 mommy, mommy, mommy.
Okay, that was definitely a Nux fan. I know, I can sense
One time I got
her milkies are empty. Do you know what that smells like?
my penis stuck in a soda bottle.
Okay.
Okay, on second thought, maybe my comment section is not the best source.
Since Trump scored big with young male voters last election, Democrats are spending $20 million to learn how to speak their language. I think it's a waste of money. Maybe these guys should spend their money on teaching men to not be such sexists. Maybe that's it.
See what I mean? See what I mean? The leftist mentality is so retarded at this point. The modern left is so retarded that it's like, what is the problem with men? They're not being taught to not be sexist enough. I disagree. We need to bring it back in a big way. We gotta bring sexism right back. I really have to stop. I have to stop talking. I have to just stop talking. But when I say sexism, I don't mean hatred of one of the sexes. I actually love men and women, not in that way. But in my opinion, recognizing the differences between men and women is a very important part of being a human being. If you think that men and women are identical creatures just with slight physiological differences, then you are a retard and you will be unhappy. Make sexism great again. All right, too far. All right, I have to stop.
I don't bear that out now. Look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have...
Oh my God, what is going on here? What is happening? It is so pathetic when you do this.
A feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there.
She's supposed to be an anti-feminist, right? This is Tommy Lauren. Isn't she supposed to be like anti-feminist? By her being anti-feminist, what, she's anti-men now? Like, it's just feminist with extra steps, bro. Oh.
They want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement in order...
You're right. There are people like that. You are so right. Now, how do we solve this problem? I think it's personally, we have to recognize that there's flaws on all sides of the spectrum. There's flaws on the side of propaganda being pushed towards men, and there is propaganda being pushed towards women. Both of these are bad. Both of them are bad. It is a godless propaganda. And honestly, it's horrible. Men need to learn how to become givers again. All right, men need to wake up and realize that they need to give. Okay? They have a duty to give their fellow person. And you know what women need to do? The same fucking thing is what they need to do. Yes, absolutely. Assaulted women. Yeah, for sure. If you flirt with a woman, they're gonna cancel you on Twitter. Did you see what happened to Corey Kenshin? He's a YouTuber with 20 million subscribers. Some girl came out with text messages where he was flirting with her in private. The internet immediately called him a rapist. Like why even deal with that, bro?
Or DoorDash.
Oh no. The very night I was sitting on my couch writing the script.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I feel like the entire media sphere, not just the media, the social media, that shit's crazy, by the way. That shit's insane. All of it. The entire ecosystem, the echo chamber of you're not allowed to say something because we could attribute that as being sexist. Oh, you want me to tell you something incredibly sexist? Build a beautiful family, okay? You want to hear something really sexist? If you're a man, marry a woman that will love and respect you, and you treat her with love and respect as well. You get together, you live a life together, you have a family, you have a couple of children, you build a beautiful fucking life, all right? Realistically, you want a hot take? That's what you should do, okay? This is the hot take. But this is not the message being pushed anywhere. The message being pushed to women is you could do it all on your own. You don't need no man. You get a job. You get a career. You don't need children. You don't need any of that. And you're going to be depressed and die alone. And what's the advice we give men? Don't touch women. Don't approach women. Don't talk to women. Don't flirt with women. Because if you do, they're going to call you a rapist, sexist on Twitter.
Go around the other side of the mountain.
Right. Realistically, we're living in a society that's so retarded, that's own foot is so far up their own ass that they're not willing to recognize, even for a fraction of a second what is actually good. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if this is some designed Satan propaganda bullshit or if there's just a severe lack of God in the universe. These are two problems that are both, I don't know if they're created by feminism, but they are definitely precipitated by feminism. They really are.
To my video about how the Democrats are spending $20 million to relate to young men. This came on my TV on Fox News. A Tommy Lahren and Laura Ingraham segment about stay-at-home sons, men who still live at home. Literally minutes after—
Like, this is pathetic. It's really pathetic. But, like, there's so many reasons for shit like this. There really is. And by the way, that's why I'm a big fan of capitalism, also, not socialism, because socialism means that you could do nothing and still make an income, right? You could still be fine if you do nothing with your life. That's why I believe in capitalism, where you actually have to work. Man, literally, the first, like, what, chapter 2 in Genesis, that by the sweat of your brow you could eat bread, or whatever the phrase is. Like, dog, you gotta go, you gotta work, you gotta create, you gotta give. And honestly, people are training their children to be takers and not givers. And I think that is the #1 flaw in society today.
After this aired, it went absolutely viral on Twitter for not good reasons. So we are going to unpack this piece by piece.
All right,
because even though everyone was mocking it and making fun of it, as far as I saw, nobody was really dissecting it and breaking down exactly why she was so egregiously wrong. So come join me in debunking the
woman-on-woman violence. This is what we're here for, guys. We are here for woman versus woman violence.
Male loser epidemic. Because who else better equipped to talk about men's issues than two stupid blonde bimbos?
Yes! That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, the #1 inspiration for men on the left is a woman. Let that be a testament to how cucked the party is.
Hold on.
There we go.
Stupid blonde bimbos.
Got 'em.
Sorry, I felt left out. All right, let's go. Wait, I need my gamer fuel. See, I do drink it. That one's for you, Tectone.
That's crazy. By the way, I'm just letting you know, I have made so many jokes saying that she never drinks it. That's crazy.
It's a major problem. And you know, Speaker Johnson has been talking about those maybe deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the stay-at-home sons. We don't know. But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. But Laura, I gotta tell you, this is also a big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates, people not getting married and having children. You know, that's a big problem. They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement in order.
It's actually crazy, by the way. It's actually crazy. As someone that frames himself as an anti-feminist. Like, what are we even doing? Is this the covert feminism that we were talking about earlier? Oh my god.
For DoorDash, and that's why we have declining birth rates and a lot of other problems in society. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air, meet people in real life.
Yeah, but why would you do any of that? Literally, why would you do that? Like, let's be honest, why would you do that? Like, I could give you many reasons why men don't want to do that. Not to say that a lot of those are women's fault, but a lot of them are women's fault.
Let's just get back to basics.
So first of all, this stay-at-home son thing is not a real thing. It was a random throwaway, self-deprecating joke some contestant on Jeopardy said.
I mean, there definitely are some, basement-dwelling, fart-sniffing guys out there. Absolutely. But I do think it's for sure a minority. Like, I don't think people understand. Men want to get married. Like, I think you're wrong. Sex. And I'll be real, the women be whores these days. I don't know what you want me to tell you, man. They out there giving it up for free with 0 commitments. I'm just saying, like, bitches be crazy, bro.
Guy, because I guess there's nothing else important going on that they could cover on
I mean, that is true.
Phenomena so they can on young men. Meanwhile, Democrats are spending millions of dollars trying to win
I mean,
back
nobody wants
young
to buy
men.
cows
Oh, no.
because milk is
The young
free.
men are leaving us in droves. How do we get them back? Don't worry, I got this.
Yes.
Hey, you fat, lazy, Cheeto dust-covered slobs.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, one thing that she's obviously misunderstanding is that there are a lot of men on the right that don't actually care if women are gonna call them Cheeto dusted slabs because they just don't value your opinion. Hell is to put it out there. Listen, it's men on the left. They will value every woman's opinion because, you know, they're trained to believe all women are queens. But, like, you have some people that are like, yes, some women are just not queens.
Nice. Thanks. I love you. I love you too.
Exactly, bro. This is the actual horseshoe of feminism. They're all secret feminists. All right. Oh, stop. Make it stop. Oh, God. Yeah! Now, that's beautiful. You see, that is a woman trope, all right? Let's be real. The shipping thing, the Barbie doll thing, the shipping thing, this is classic woman trope. That's what I'm saying. You see, this is beautiful. This is gorgeous. This is art.
The amount of young men living home with their parents increasing? Yes. Is it because they're lazy bums and just want to order DoorDash all day? No.
Well, some of them probably are, realistically.
However,
I think the majority is not because of that at all.
and also, they're not paying for DoorDash, Tommy. They're financing it. Come on, get with the times.
There are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash, and that's why we have declining birth rates. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air.
Have either of you...
Wow,
Like,
that
it's
lady's
so wild
angry
watching
that she's
these
not
dudes.
getting laid.
It's like, why are you saying these things? Like you realize that that is just feminism from the other direction, right? Like, that really is just feminism all over again. Being so anti-feminist that you just become feminist the other way.
You tried applying for a job as a young man recently, or tried buying a house on the salary of one of these young men? Have you experienced the dating market, been on the dating sites as a young man? No? Interesting, okay. Just wondering.
See, Shoehead has.
Listen, I know the average age of a Fox News viewer is like 70 nowadays, and you need to pander to them, but Tom...
But that gets clips put on...
You know this isn't true. Why are you talking like this? Why are you talking like a fucking boomer? I'm sorry, I have no other word for this, but I hate this like generational pick-me. I was born in the wrong generation. I'm not like those other young people. And you know what? She's not like those other young people. Not all young people can afford a nice nose job and live till
She's spitting!
and get a cushy job on Fox News, based entirely on merit, I'm sure.
I mean, realistically, her job is probably... Like, listen, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I think there's a really easy drift that a lot of women do on the internet is, just like men do this too, by the way. I just want to make this very clear. A lot of women will go on the internet and be like, men are good, men are great, men deserve more love, and they will immediately get a massive male audience. The same drift exists on the other side, where you have men that will say, women are so mistreated by society, sexism is such a real thing, how dare you insult my feelings, and they are literally gonna get an entire freaking merit-based community based on that. I am just saying, you have those two things. They both exist 1,000%, and they are both insidious, because none of them believe the shit that they say.
The main problem with this brain-dead, boomer-ass take is not only is it cringe, but it's completely divorced from reality.
True.
This slop is specifically designed...
You ask any... Look, man, look, dude, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Maybe this is anecdotal, but I do not think that you could ever, you will never meet a man, okay, that is 30, living in their mother's basement, that if you wouldn't give them the option, you have the choice to leave, marry a beautiful woman that will love and take care of you, and you will have to take care of them in return. If you give this option to any man that's between 20 and 30, they will take it. They would take it. Every single one. So, realistically, this is not true. You know? Like, there's a reason why people are in their houses, even if they are. I'm not even willing to accept the fact that there is this massive epidemic of people sitting there in their houses and doing that and crying covered in Cheeto dust. But even if that is the case, all you need to give them is the ability to change it, and they would in an instant. Every single one of them.
Designed for people who paid like...
Except for gay people. They might not change it, because they don't want to marry a beautiful woman.
$5 for a f***ing house. And listen, not all boomers, okay? My parents are boomers. They are lovely people. A lot of you guys are boomers. But when the baby boomer generation sends its people, it is not sending their best. They are not sending you. They're sending people who have lots of problems. They're bringing the housing crisis. They're bringing wage stagnation. They're calling for AI-generated photos on Facebook. But some, I assume, are good people. But my God, I truly believe they do not understand how good they had it. They could support a family on a single income. A single income...
I wonder why now we can't. I wonder why you need 2 incomes. Oh, feminism. Oh, how foolish me. Oh, what a fool. Oh.
From a job that didn't require a college degree. Their leaders didn't prostitute away their
Parents
economic
are
future
That's
for some
surprising.
cheap plastic shit from China.
They didn't even prostitute away their daughters like they do today. You have this entire fucking marketplace of people literally pawning their daughters off to OnlyFans to bring in an income. That shit's gross.
They inherited the greatest economy known to man, and they pretend it's a paradise that they earned. I just don't understand, like, why don't boomers and spiritual boomers like Tommy Lauren see people struggling and go, wow, I wish I could fix this.
Well, I mean, to be honest, we all know it's strong men create good times, create weak times, create strong women, create weak men. You know what I'm saying?
You should have it better than I had it. And you wonder why so many millennials and zoomers don't want kids. I want to make the world a better place for my children. I want to make the world a better place for my children. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you spoiled brat. Children. Not happening.
True! That's the modern society, baby. Children bad. A godless generation.
Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men.
Young men are becoming...
This is crazy. It's crazy that she actually went on air to say that.
Lazy because they're becoming feminized. So they're becoming lazy because they act more like women? What did she mean by this, chat?
Bro, because she's a panderer. She has to keep saying that women are lazy. That's literally her entire pandering career. It's saying women lazy, women bad, but they're bad because of men who are actually bad because of women who are bad because of men.
You know there's like a decrease in testosterone or something happening, but men are moving right-wing all over the world.
True.
Does that correlate with the feminization? Or, I mean, there are suspiciously a lot of far-right femboys, so...
Okay, that's anecdotal evidence.
Oh.
Anecdotal evidence!
But here's the thing, Tammy. There is absolutely no evidence that young women want to start families more than young men. No.
Of course, all men want to start families more than women. Now, because of modern feminism. And then women will not have families and be morbidly depressed people. So you know what they do about their depression? Do you know what women that are depressed because they you know, they're 60 years old, they have no family, and they're alone and fat? You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna try to convince an entire other generation of women that it's better to be alone and fat than it is to actually build a family. Literally, and I mean this literally, vandalize an entire generation to cripple them to make sure that they have as pathetic and sad of a life as they have. I am just saying that is a real thing. Alright? The sabotage of a generation is so real.
In fact, all the data says the exact opposite.
True. It's we're living in the girl boss era. Don't get a man, don't get a job, don't get a man, just build a career. Be a strong woman. Be a strong woman. That's it. That's what it's all about. Rule your life through your empathy. Men are bad. Men are so bad. You have empathy and emotional integrity and depth. Unlike men. Ugh, disgusting. They're all racist. Like, come on. Like, we've all heard this so many times. I don't even need to, tell you anything else. We've all heard this exact speech in every single movie. Like, dude, this is every Hollywood movie. Young girl, always mistreated because men are controlling everything and there's a patriarchy, which there isn't. And the men that are secretly controlling everything from the shadows are making life bad for women. But women realize once they embrace themselves and their womanhood, they are truly the strongest of them all. And not only does she embrace her womanhood, but her womanhood is getting a career and becoming a scientist. That is her true womanhood. It's like, what are we doing, guys? It's like subversion on top of subversion.
According to Pew Research, 64% of women younger than 50 say they just don't want to have children.
That's fucked up. That is fucked up.
No reason, they just don't want them. Versus 50% of men who say the same. Another study...
Yeah, godless society. It's a society that's not at all trying their best to make society better for people. We're dead, bro.
By Archbridge Institute shows the same. 63% of women without children said they have no desire to have a child.
Right, so you know what you do from there on? You know what you do? You know what you do? Import immigrants. That's right, baby. That's right. Let's just bring in 1 million immigrants. They will solve this problem. Don't need children, we'll just bring in children from other places. Hell yeah!
While only 50% of men said the same. For men, the most commonly cited factor was personal finance. But among women, the strongest reason not to have a child was their desire to maintain their personal independence.
I have an opinion here that I think is true. I think this is true. The reason why women think this way is because of the social cancer that is modern society. There is nothing inherent about this. Biologically, naturally, everything, every fiber of their body, I think, is opposed to this. Just like every fiber of a man's body is opposed to this. You want to create a next generation. Inherently, I believe you do. However, you have a society that's trying to convince you not to do that. And it's killing all these people.
Basically, they don't want to give up their brunch and mimosas. They've been ass-blasted with propaganda their whole lives, telling them their lives will be ruined, their bodies will be ruined, they'll never have fun again, they'll be miserable forever if they have children. And as someone who has had a children,
oh my god,
best decision I've ever made.
Let's
10/10,
go!
highly recommend, would do it again.
Best.
But yes, this idea that men are the ones primarily responsible for the low birth rates is laughable. We're laughing over here. Honestly, it's not really women or men's fault. There are a lot of factors that play into this. But Tommy, I really gotta ask, is it men or is it you?
This is gonna be the summer of canceling boys. All of my friends are attractive. All of my friends are successful. All of my friends have something going on. Almost every single one of them have an issue with men. But if all of these women, including myself, are having issues, then I have to think, it might not be us. It might be you. It is not
This is crazy. This is crazy. Holy shit.
just the guys in Los Angeles, Nashville, Dallas, and they're not any better in the Midwest. They, quite frankly, I think they're trash all over this country.
My friends are successful. Men don't give a shit about that. They'd marry a Walmart cashier if she was nice to them.
True. Listen.
I think men between the ages of 20 and 30 are not ready, in most cases, for marriage. Are you?
Why? On what basis does she say these things? Like, does she actually have any basis for any of this? It's not us. It's all the men that I'm gonna be bitching about now on TikTok.
Usually not ready to be husbands and fathers.
That's a cultural issue. So, look,
No, I would actually, back to your point,
Yeah.
I think it's a biological thing.
What? Literally, what are you talking about? Wait, so every single generation in history was all wrong? Every single generation in all of history? Like, are you actually insane? Bro, men got married at the age of 18 forever. Forever.
So let me get this straight. Men are all trash and won't commit and won't leave mommy's basement, and they're destroying the birth rates. But also, young men are biologically incapable of commitment and being parents. What? But wait, there's more. She also believes women don't have to bring anything to the table.
And as a woman,
Oh my god, dude.
I want a strong
People told me I needed to react to this debate.
man who is a protector and a provider, that will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect my family, make money. But I don't think a man needs to get something out of it to be a manly man, a protector and a provider. If you think you
So
need
nothing.
to get
So you
something
should
out
have
of
nothing.
it, I quite frankly don't consider you a
nothing.
real man.
Never before in history.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Like, the ultimate and, like, unabashed selfishness. This selfishness of this cretin. And I mean, I believe there's a lot of people that believe this. Like, again, I think that this is right-wing feminism. Right-wing feminism does this shit, and it's absolutely diabolical. Oh my lord. That's crazy. Yeah, so...
You need to get of it. I quite frankly don't consider you...
Men need to do all sorts of things, and all these and all those. If not, they're wastes, they're slobs. Women are perfect. We should be treated like queens. We're awesome. It's feminism on the other side. It's literally just reverse feminism. It's just feminism.
Never before in history have women done so much and offered so little. So before we get deeper into this retarded stay-at-home son narrative, let's check the Facebook comments of this Fox News video, because I am really interested to see what, like, the typical Fox News viewer thinks about this.
All right.
If the women are anything like these two, I can hardly blame the men for staying home.
Oh, destroyed.
Blame. These two women have a combined age of 93, and they have 0 children between both of them.
Is that true? Is that true? Are 2 women with no children explaining conservative values to men? There is no fucking way. Like, this is diabolical.
You both have repugnant personality types, so listening to this was like male birth control to me.
You are keeping us at home, goddammit! If they're anything like you, I am never leaving my mother's basement again.
My goodness! Boomers are ruthless. Bunch of sissies. I served 6 years, 2 years in Southeast Asia after Vietnam was over. When I was 18, rent was $450 and I could afford it. She's so spot on. Nothing's screams "I'm a loser, run from me" than a guy living at home in his parents' house with his 12-year-old boys begging for at age of 30. Thank God we raised our sons to be men who grew up, lived on their own, found their soulmate, got married, bought a beautiful home, and started a family. I was out the door at 18, worked on the assembly line at Dodge and in the Air Force at 19, never went back home. I can't relate to this. Yes, we know you people can't relate. We know. But the world has changed. Why can't you people get this through your heads? I will never let my sons stay home. I'm trying to push them out of the nest. Okay, I really gotta ask, is this an Anglo thing? Immediately kicking your kid out when they turn 18 years old?
By the way, this is such an Anglo thing. It really is. I don't know. Listen, obviously I grew up Jewish. I don't know a single person that did this, like in my personal life. But then I started actually meeting people like outside of my community, and everyone does this. It's wild.
My Mediterranean mind cannot comprehend this. And honestly, why the f would a man leave home, leave his mother's cooking, for a woman who probably can't cook? Not me, though. Personally, I can cook amazing homemade meals. I'll have you know I am a great trad wife.
Look at that. Dino nuggies. Oh, wow. By the way, I've been eating good. I'm just saying. I'm living my best life. What can I say? Thank God. I thank God every single day. Holy shit.
Bone apple teeth. Now, unfortunately, Tommy Lauren wasn't the only one pushing this stupid, lazy young men go get a job bullshit. Mike Johnson did it, referencing 29-year-old men playing video games all day.
Oh my God, how do we keep doing this?
Steve Scalise did it with 35-year-old men playing video games all day. And just the other night, I saw this on my TV. Again.
A Wall Street Journal headline got our attention. The new dream job for young men, stay-at-home son. It's a phrase that's taken off since 27-year-old Brendan Leo won $59,000 on Jeopardy. And he has a master's degree in political science, but he's unemployed. Grow up, get a job, get a wife, build a family.
Just get a wife, bro. Just get a job, bro.
It is absolutely insane. It is absolutely insane watching people be so divorced from reality. It's unreal.
Oh, get a job? Yeah. Just get a job? Why don't I strap on my job helmet and squeeze down into a job cannon and fire off into Jobland, where jobs grow on jobbies?
The term welfare queen must have fell out of fashion with Republicans, because it seems even they know the approved safe demographic to go after now. Because it's very obvious what demographic they are talking about when they say young men in their basements.
Nice looking on the outside.
Games. This just get a job lazy attitude is not surprising, but it's especially funny coming from Fox News of all places. Fox News that spends so much time yapping about immigrants taking American jobs. Fox News will talk for years about how Americans are being screwed out of the workforce. But when this issue manifests itself in Gen Z, suddenly it's a moral failure. The fact that...
Well, I mean, she's right, and she's also not completely right, because most people could get jobs. Realistically, most people could get jobs. I do think that is the case. But I think that it's a bad schooling. It's a bad society. I think any parent that promotes and pushes their kid to go for a degree in fucking political science and you know, to go for some like really wild lesbian tap dancing in Southeast Asia, it's like, dog, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? That shit's a scam. Like, it really is. College is such a scam if you're getting a degree like that. Like, I don't know, man. It's really wild watching society evolve, or devolve, you could say, and seeing that somebody has a degree in gender studies and now they're in debt to college. And it's like, yeah, no fucking shit, your life is on fire.
A lot of American jobs held by men are being lost to automation, offshoring, and yes, cheap foreign labor.
Completely true. She's right. Which is why I think illegal immigrants should be removed from the country. And men that don't have jobs should take those jobs. And there are jobs to be found. It's just a shitty fucking economy.
Companies and billionaires would rather have cheap labor that they can essentially abuse.
Dude,
not
the place
pay
I'm working
fair
at
wages
needs
to
people.
Just
She's
good little worker drones who won't unionize.
She's right. So kick them out of the country. That's right. Kick every illegal immigrant out of the country. I saw some numbers saying that there's 60 million people, 60 million illegal immigrants in America. Get them all fucking out. All of a sudden, you're going to have an extra 60 million jobs on the table. And you know what? If you are an American, then you are going to be paid, you know, at least relatively fair wages. Because realistically, you're going to sue the shit out of them if they're not willing to pay you. I don't know, man. I think that's a pretty good way to make some jobs.
Rather than hire American workers for a living wage. The cheaper the labor they hire, the more money they make. I remember when Bernie Sanders called open borders a Koch brothers conspiracy.
Open borders? That's a Koch brothers proposal, which says essentially there is no United States.
But it would,
anybody
it would make a lot
me.
of the global poor richer, wouldn't it?
It'd make everybody in America poor. Then you're doing away with with the concept of a nation state.
Where'd that
What happened to Bernie Sanders? Complete sellout. Please say that he's a sellout.
guy go?
I'm so happy that Shuanhead said that. A lot of you might not know the lore here. Shuanhead is a massive Bernie Sanders fan. I have always been against the guy. I never liked him. Shuanhead has always been a massive Bernie Sanders fan. I'm really happy to see this, to be honest, because every single Democrat that comes out and yells that Trump is deporting illegal immigrants, you're all retards. You're all complete retards.
A lot of these jobs being taken are jobs traditionally held by men, like construction and factory jobs, manual labor work. But it's not just manual labor jobs, it's also the tech industry and business industry, which are careers also mainly held by men. There are many examples of this, such as Microsoft recently cutting thousands of American workers while requesting 14,000 more H-1B workers this year. Some of those job positions include data scientists, which are 70% men, software developers, which are 80% men, and electronic engineers, which are 90% men, and many more like that. Another example of this was Tesla, where roughly 15,000 American employees were fired in April 2024, and many were replaced with H-1B visa holders. On Twitter, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy tried to chalk this up to these immigrants just simply being the best and the brightest.
That's right. There is no American that could work well as an Indian man on an H-1B visa that you coincidentally pay less. Absolutely. Anyone dumb enough to believe that we should deport all illegal immigrants is stupid? Okay, well, call me stupid, but I think that's the case. And I think you're retarded. With all due respect, I think you're wrong. I think every single illegal immigrant in the country should be removed. That's why we have laws. That's why we have borders. I think it would make the country better. I think it would make it safer. And I think it would give more job to Americans, which is the #1 goal, after all, of America. So realistically, every single one of them getting pushback in chat right now. So I have to make sure that people understand I am not trolling. There is zero troll when I say that every single person in America illegally should be removed. All right? Not faltering, not buckling. All right, I'm seeing some pushback, so I want to make this clear. Very clear. Very, very clear. Every single person in the country illegally should not be in the country. Should remove themselves. And if they're not willing to remove themselves, they should get removed. They are criminals. They are trespassing in my country. And get the fuck out. There's a process to get in legally. Sorry, bro. That's my opinion. If you don't like it, you have the right to watch me. You have the right not to watch me. You don't have to be a Nux fan. I'm very clear about this. Subscribe if you want to. Do not subscribe if you do not want to. If you are illegal in the country, leave. All right? Sorry. You're making the country worse.
Yeah, okay. You're paying them less for longer hours and more work, and they're willing to deal with it.
And if you don't want to go yourself, to Alligator Alcatraz, baby!
In order to stay in the country. It's coercive, exploitative, and, dare I say, not very America first.
Yeah, it's the opposite of America first. I mean, realistically, and I'm not going to be rude here, the #1 job of the government is to try their best to make sure that things work as well as possible for the American people. Obviously, the government doesn't always do that, but in my opinion, that is what the government should absolutely do. This is my opinion. And that includes not bringing in foreign people to steal your jobs. Hot take, that's not a good thing.
Conservatives confronted Elon Musk for this last year. He told somebody, and I quote, "Take a big step back and yourself in the face on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend."
Okay.
So when it comes to replacing American workers in manual labor with cheap foreign labor, it's deport, deport, deport. But when it comes to replacing his American workers with cheap foreign labor, it's yourself in the face.
I mean, I think that realistically the reason why he says that is because he wants to do it legally. But the reason why it's done legally is because I think that people aren't pushing it enough. I think it's just not pushing it hard enough.
Interesting. There's also affirmative action and DEI, which are other things Fox News always pisses and shits about. But suddenly, when the conversation is about Gen Z men, the demographic of people who are victims of these things, suddenly these things just don't exist anymore. Then it's, oh, young men are all just lazy. They just want to be in their parents' basement ordering and playing video games. It's not just the brown people.
Listen, I think that there's a mix of things, realistically. There's always a mix of things. It's not every issue has one solution. I think it's a very multifaceted problem. But I think that there are a lot of really simple solutions. Like really, really simple solutions.
People taking your jobs. I am not beating the allegations with this one. The brown people are not taking your jobs, okay? It's not their fault. They're just cheaper. Aim upwards.
Damn.
But it's not just the brown people taking your jobs. It's the women, too. Many of the dyeing industries are male-dominated, while many of the growing industries are female-dominated. And
Right,
stigma.
because a lot of the physical labor industries you could get replaced, and those are the ones that are primarily men. I mean, look, I think we need to bring back trade schools. I think we need to kill and absolutely gut, and not only gut, we need to do anti-propaganda, direct anti-propaganda, literal direct anti-propaganda for the entire society of you grow up, you go to high school, you go to college, you get a degree, I don't care what it's in, you get a degree in the arts and gender studies and gender utopia and fucking bullshit, random cringe. Listen, man, I think that's insane.
Around these jobs being woman jobs usually stops men from working them. Women are overwhelmingly entering and excelling in college and the workforce, and they're more flexible about job position and pay, while young men usually hold out for higher paying, higher position jobs that will make them the breadwinner. Because you see, despite the world progressing and the role of women changing, the role of men has not changed. Every woman is a feminist until the dinner bill comes. But what's crazy is, women might be the ones paying that dinner bill soon. A study from the UK found women aged 22 to 29 earned about 1,000 more annually than men.
All right, wage gap is dead. I'm glad that's over. Glad that shit was destroyed.
Completely reversing the traditional gender pay gap for this age group. In the US, a 2022 Pew Research Center analysis showed that women under 30 out-earned men in many metropolitan areas, with median earnings at or above 100% of men's in cities like New York and Washington, D.C. That may not sound like a lot of money now, but it's a growing trend that has never been seen before. It's so bad that it's really starting to affect the dating world.
Yeah, and not only that, but I think, again, I really think it's propaganda. I think it's fucking propaganda. It really is. I really think it's actual fucking propaganda. It is, because there are so many ways that you could get around this issue. Like, it's absolutely diabolical. It is diabolical looking at this shit. I don't know, man.
American women have never been this resigned to staying single. They are responding to major demographic shifts, including huge and growing gender gaps in economic and educational attainment, political affiliation, and beliefs about what family should look like. More women than men are attending college, buying houses, and focusing on their friendships and careers over dating and marriage. The challenges of finding a romantic partner have been made more complicated by a growing divide in education and career prospects between men and women. In 2024, 40% of American women ages 25 to 34 had a bachelor's degree, according to Pew, compared to 37% of men. A bachelor's degree increases net lifetime earnings by an estimated $1 million. Women are doing comparatively well when it comes to education in their early years in the labor force, and men are doing comparatively badly. Men's economic struggles seem to be having the biggest effect on women without a college degree, whose marriage by 45 had culminated to 52% for both 1930 and 1980, according to research by Cornell University. Young men without a degree are struggling so much as a group that there simply aren't enough with steady jobs and earnings for non-college women to date. Men are poor, women most affected. Modern women...
Right? Isn't that crazy how that happens, man? Isn't that absolutely insane? Like, that's gotta be some crazy shit. Men are poor. This is bad because you see, women
are no longer tied to their gender roles. Birth control has freed them from the prison that is their biology, and they are
crazy.
Making their own money. Sometimes.
And then you have an entire generation of depressed people. I wonder why depression is skyrocketing. I wonder. It probably has nothing to do with any of this. This is probably completely insane.
More than men. They can have it all. They can do anything. They can be anything. While at the same time, men are still expected to be the provider. And more importantly,
I'm telling you, I said this before, I'll say it again. You know, you have a woman complaining, I can't believe it. Men make so much more than women. Men make more than women. We should be making just as much as men. Also women. I'm not gonna date someone that doesn't make as much money as me. Okay, alright, problem solved. Listen, there are so many masculine jobs out there. There really are. I just think society is incentivizing people to not actually do any of that. I just think society is directly saying that you should not do that. It's crazy. Like, bro, a mechanic, a welder, a plumber, an electrician, all these jobs, like, they make good money. They do make good money even today. But this was never even an opportunity for most men. It didn't even enter your mind to do any of these things because, well, society told you that you should get a degree in gender studies and you know, female biology or whatever the fuck in college. Female biology in college, that's something they actually don't care about. But it's absolutely insane.
Men still want to be the provider, but they can't. And women, though strong and independent, still want men to be the provider.
And as a woman, I want a strong man who's a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be. That
women be like, we don't want you to actually have jobs, but also we want you to have jobs.
Will protect me, protect my family, make money.
Basically, men are like, we're worried.
Men, you need to do everything. You need to do everything and do everything, give everything to our society, protect us, give us money, build our lives, do everything, raise the children. I don't think they're not splitting home chores, right? Men gotta do half the chores at home. But you expect me to do the home chores? Oh, hold up, whoa. Oh, wait, whoa. Sit the fuck down. Sit the fuck down. What are we talking about?
We're not making enough money. And women are like, we're worried men are not making enough money. Hello class, I am Miss On Head. I am substituting for your teacher today. She was arrested for molesting a 12-year-old boy. So today we are learning about the graph.
Oh.
This is the growth in productivity versus hourly compensation graph. And you can trace almost everything bad happening in society back to this graph. As you can see, productivity increased while compensation barely grew over the same time period. Notice they tracked very closely up until around 1972.
What happened
now, what
there?
happened around 1972, class? Well, the top marginal tax rate was reduced from 70% in 1964 to 50% by 1981. The federal minimum wage began to stagnate. Income going to the 1% rose from 9% in the 60s to 16% in 2023. CEOs also went from making 20 times more than the average worker to making 350 times more than the average worker. Anything else? Anything else happened around 1972? Yes, Jimmy, that is correct.
Feminism.
Women joined the workforce.
Oh, really? What? No. What? No.
Around this time, we don't have to get into that.
Yeah, definitely that didn't contribute at all. Absolutely. No, sir, that didn't contribute.
The fact is, hard work no longer guarantees success, and the will to work is tied to the fruits of your labor. And young men are fed up today because 90% of that fruit is rotten. Now, is there some truth to modern young people being lazy? Sure, I guess. Every generation had lazy people.
I mean, listen, I think that socialism contributes to lazy people. I know that Shieldhead's a socialist, but I think socialism definitely contributes a lot to being a lazy person. I think it's not only that, it's society. It's society telling you that you're allowed to be lazy. Not allowed to be lazy. Society literally sits there and yells at you and tells you to sit on your ass.
And we do basically live in late-stage mouse utopia, after all. Young people today are faced with two options: revolution or escapism. And a lot of them are choosing escapism. Many have basically given up, but it's not like they didn't try. They tried, and they found out the juice just isn't worth the squeeze, whether it's college, dating, or the job market. And in a way, many young men are kind of choosing revolution. The never-before shift rightward in young men is a
Listen, I think the large shift rightward is for many reasons. I don't think it's purely economic or social. I think it's really a mix of a lot of things. A lot of things. One is being sick of a society that's telling you that you're the source of problems when you are the ones that built the society. It's like, the crazy thing is, the framework that we have now that gives women the ability to do these things was built by men. And now, using the current framework, it's all about destroying men. Now, listen, men had enough of the propaganda and shit. And I think women did too. I just think a lot of women didn't realize exactly what to do with that yet.
Full revolution in a way. They're saying, this isn't working for me. This sucks. I hate this. I want something different. This is also manifesting on the Democrat side in general. The young men that are still
the young men on the Democrat side, oh, God have mercy.
Voting left are voting further left.
Yeah, the Democrat side men are supporting terrorism. Like, that is how insane the left is right now.
You saw this recently in New York City where...
with this guy who says that he no longer wants police to come to homes of domestic violence. That's right, that's his newest thing. If there is a domestic violence incident, we are defunding the police. The police should not go to those homes. Classic, hell yeah.
Zoran Mandani, a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist, won the Democratic primary. Young men are tired of the establishment, left and right. They're tired of the system, and they want to burn it down and start again. They want something that works for them. This is not working for them.
Understandable, true.
If you wake up one morning and you find yourself in a society where 23-year-olds with 4-year college degrees and like initiative who aren't smoking weed every day, if they can't make enough to buy a car, much less a home, much less get married, much less have children, then why should you be surprised when half of them say they prefer socialism?
Listen, he's right. He's right on this one.
Fox News should hire that guy. There is an entire generation of fighting-aged men who are enraged and feel like they have nothing to live for. You should probably start caring. When they saw this airing on Fox News, they saw an angry woman nagging in their faces about how...
Not only is she an angry woman, she is supposedly on our side, guys. She's on our side. She is an anti-feminist. Right? She is on our side. And all she is just another feminist. It's crazy.
Everything wrong in the world is their fault. An all too familiar thing they have been hearing for far too long. But unfortunately for Democrats, nobody under the age of 60 watches Fox News, so this is not really going to have an effect on young men whatsoever. So keep
young men are... there is a revolution happening, and the young men revolution is definitely here. And the young men revolution is absolutely going to the right, because people are realizing that A, you want a society that has laws, and B, you want a society that has values. And I think we are currently living... Look, there's another thing that I think... I don't want to say it could solve all these problems immediately, but it would solve a lot of these problems, and it's actually having values. We are living in a society that is predicated on the lack of values, on pure hedonism, and on doing whatever the fuck you want with your life. But if you're living in a society with zero values whatsoever, do whatever you want, no values, no morals, no ethics, you don't believe in anything, everything is subjective, you can do whatever the fuck you want, and if you're living in a society like that, well, then it's gonna fall apart at the seams. It always does.
that $20 million. You might still need it, unless we get dragged into another war in the Middle East. If we do get dragged into another war in the Middle East, young men might come running back to the Democratic Party. Maybe
if we get dragged into a war in the Middle East, it'll be the Democrats that do it. I'm just calling it right here. It'll be the Democrats that do it. It's not going to be a Republican.
Maybe not even a George Bush 2 electric boogaloo will have men coming back to the Democratic Party. Hopefully we don't find out. And as I'm editing this right now, a lot of young people, even the podcast bros, seem pretty upset about the Epstein thing, but the Democrats won't take advantage of the situation in order to protect the Clintons, so maybe...
I mean, to be honest, I'm more upset at the Democrats than the Republicans about the Epstein thing. I'm more disappointed in the Republicans, but I'm more upset at the Democrats. Look, the Democrats had every ability to release the Epstein files for 4 years, and they didn't do it, okay? But now, I had no faith that they would do it, because I didn't even know who the president was. I didn't know who was running the country for the last 4 years. It wasn't Biden, and we just confirmed that it wasn't Otto Penn that signed all that shit, by the way. It's just been officially confirmed. Biden wasn't running the country. I don't know who was. So I had no faith in them whatsoever, all right? Yeah, Clinton went to the island 26 times, and he probably had nothing to do with anything, right? So, you know, actually insane.
Maybe not even this will save them, but we'll see, I guess. Hold on.
Yeah, this isn't going to save them.
So that was that video. What do you think of the male loser epidemic? Do you agree with Tommy Lauren? Is it all men's fault? Leave your comments below. I read them all. I am probably reading them right now. Great. Don't write that. No, you can't say that. No, it doesn't matter if it's with an A. If you like this video, please subscribe, and if you can, donate to me on Patreon or leave a little tip with a little tip jar down below. Give a little heart. It helps the channel, and I appreciate it so much. And I will see you guys again soon with a new video, a new slop video. I know you gremlins love that shit.
I love slop. Yeah, no, this was a great video. I think in conclusion, it's all women's fault. Thanks for watching. In conclusion, it's all women's fault. See you in the next one. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, bad.
Singing billionaire can't make it in this crazy world. I don't know who can.
Well, I'm just hoping for just 2 or 3 top-selling albums post-breakup, because that's where she does her best material, and I think a lot of fans no, I'm kidding. Of course we want them to be living happily ever after. We're very heavily invested in this. Before you go, earlier in the week, I talked about what a funny president Donald Trump is. Whether you love him or hate him, you cannot deny his comedic timing is superb. And I think that's rubbing off on other senior members of the administration. Here is Secretary of State Marco Rubio making a joke about Labor Day.
For me personally, this is the most meaningful Labor Day of my life as someone with 4 jobs. And so, it's true.
Even POTUS like that one, Army?
Yeah, look, while the material was funny, no question about it, so was the delivery, I'm not a big fan. Look, there's only one stand-up comedian in the White House, and that's the president. I don't want Rubio taking anything away from the comic-in-chief, President Donald Trump. So, yeah, look, let's leave it to the president. He's the guy who's funny. Give him the airtime.
Army, before you go, I've got to ask you about our Defence Minister being in town. He's in DC meeting with Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, hopefully the Vice President as well. How much excitement and news coverage is there of Australia in this big meeting?
I'll let you in a little secret, Rita. No one cares and no one knows about it. Sorry.
No, surely people are just stopping in the streets and saying, when is Anthony Albanese going to get a one-on-one meeting with the president? Because our Prime Minister still has not had a one-on-one meeting with the president. That's not very nice, because we are supposed to be allies, Army.
When I get stopped in the streets and people recognize me from the Rita Panahi show, their number one question is, why doesn't Albanese get more FaceTime with President Trump? Number one question, kid you not.
I believe you 100%. Army Horowitz, thank you so much for your time. For things they've posted in opposition to immigration.
It's outrageous. Months, even up to 3 years, as you say. One is a 55-year-old mother who was locked up, so these are not violent offenders. And this whole concept of hate speech or bigoted speech leading to these task forces for immigration. They also did it for COVID in 2020, 2021. They had a secret sort of investigative unit that was looking to combat disinformation around various COVID measures that potentially could lead to prosecutions or arrests, and I think did in some cases. So Keir Starmer is right in that there is a long history of free speech in the UK, going all the way back to Magna Carta in 1215. That's where it all germinated out of. That's what makes it even more shameful and sad that they're doing this. It has to be defended, and this issue is only going to brew. It's headed towards a collision course, because in addition to arresting their own citizens like they have, they're doing things like putting these huge fines against American big tech companies who are not without sin, those big tech players. However, they're appealing all of them, and these other governments coming in and trying to find 6, 8, 10% of global revenues is going to come into Trump trade deals and other negotiations as well. So this fight is
crazy. I've been seeing screen grabs that people have posted from the UK where just posts about immigration are completely blanked out. You can see them elsewhere in the world, but you can't see them in the UK. And we've got people who have been accused of incitement via their tweets, serving longer jail terms, some of them, than people involved in the grooming gang scandal. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. We've got more squirming from the UK Prime Minister here. Trump's asked about whether he's going to go to London, and he can't help mentioning Sadiq Khan, the mayor, and how terrible he is.
I will. I'm not a fan of your mayor. I think he's done a terrible job. The mayor of London, but a nasty person. I think he's done. I think he's done a terrible job. But I would certainly visit London.
I love how Trump just ignored what Keir Starmer said there and just reiterated, yes, Sadiq Khan is doing a terrible job.
It's so funny because he says he's doing a terrible job, which is true if you want to defend that. Crime has been up, basically knife crime, violent crime, sexual assault. They call it something like there's a rape reported per hour now in London, even shoplifting and all these things. And not all of that is at his feet. There are other upstream reasons for it, but that's not a good record, even though it does bear saying that he's the only mayor who's been re-elected 3 times. So he does keep getting re-elected despite that.
True.
But I love how Trump added that extra personal layer. He's doing a terrible job as mayor, and he's nasty. And that's when Keir Starmer felt the need to come in and defend him, and he just wanted it away. Nope, he's doing a bad job.
Ignored it, just kept talking. Now, a warning to our viewers, this next story does have some distressing content. It's a horrible story. What looks like face of violence from Cincinnati received scant coverage until the vice president talked about them. The scenes are horrific, but when I went to Google yesterday looking for news coverage, the mainstream media wouldn't be seen in action. Indeed, the first news story that popped up was about Ice Cube's surprise appearance at the Cincinnati Music Festival. But that has all changed now because the vice president was asked about this issue and he had this to say.
What I saw is a mob of thugs beating up on an innocent person, and it's disgusting. And I hope every single one of those people who engage in violence is prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And they will be. They will be so long as law enforcement in the state of Ohio takes their job seriously. I know Dave Yost cares a lot about these things. I don't know the full context. I don't know how the fight started. One part that I saw that was really gruesome is you had a grown man who sucker punched a middle-aged woman. And where I come from, at least, when you have a grown man who sucker punches a middle-aged woman, that person ought to go to jail for a very long time. And frankly, he's lucky there's some better people around because they would have handled it themselves. But if they're not going to handle it, the cops in Cincinnati, the law enforcement, you've got to prosecute people. We've had way too much lawlessness on the streets of great American cities.
We are now seeing some news coverage on this story, but Kosha, I can guarantee if the races of the victims were reversed, if the perpetrators were mainly white and the victims were black, let's face it, this would be front page on most newspapers across America, would be leading the news service. But it's taken the vice president's intervention to actually put this even in the news cycle.
The media, thankfully, is just getting more and more relevant, and there are these alternatives with independent media, and it's going viral online, as you said. But it is so frustrating because they don't cover it. They won't.
God damn it.
There's some rumors and rumblings that there was some kind of racial slur. There's no evidence or reportable specificity around that. But if that emerges, that that's what instigated this, doesn't justify obviously being beaten down like that, then I suspect the media will cover it because it'll give them a little bit of a motivation that they'll zero in on. But it is frustrating. I think two things will force them to either that, high-profile people like the vice president speaking out about it, and then prosecutions if they happen. Hermie Dillon, who's the head of the civil rights group under Pam Bondi, under this administration, came out with a statement that federal statutes protect all Americans, regardless of color, and we will be watching the Cincinnati prosecutors closely to make sure that they bring charges against these people out there in these ways.
Absolutely, and yeah, she's a very good operator indeed. Vivek Ramaswamy is waiting as well. He's running to be the governor of Ohio, and he posted this earlier today. He said he spoke to Holly, that's the woman who was knocked out, and she's a single working mum who went to a friend's birthday party. It's unconscionable that there were no police present in the area in Cincinnati on Friday night, or even an ambulance to take her to the hospital. Hardworking Americans shouldn't have to worry for their safety when they have a good time in our cities. Holly said not a single local or state official had yet reached out as of earlier this afternoon, other than one police detective. Leftists like to lecture about systematic injustice while thugs turn out cities into war zones. I'm done with their excuses. As governor, I'll make sure they'll be behind bars, not running wild. Our cops will have the green light to restore order. No apologies. This is a strong statement, and J.D. Vance also made a statement about making great American cities safer.
The local authorities in these big cities have allowed lawlessness to run wild. We have got to make great American cities safe again for families and children. If you want to take your wife or your children out for a meal, you shouldn't be worried about street violence, and the only way to destroy that street violence is to take the thugs who engage in that violence and throw their asses in prison.
And I tell you, this could be the issue that turns those big cities red, because the big cities are almost all blue, but crime is just running rampant, and people are sick of it, surely.
Yes, we see little sparks of that. So Ohio as a state has turned quite red and has gone to Trump by 10 points in every election, actually, that he's run 3 times. But you're right, these cities are not, the mayor The vice mayor of Cincinnati came out with a statement trying to water it down and saying, oh, this was just an adult fight, is how she couched it, because they don't want to admit how derelict they are in their duty.
Right. I mean, I've seen the full footage that's available online.
It's disgusting.
And this wasn't a fight. This was a full-blown gang attack. Two helpless people bashed. Almost a miracle they're alive. And
Absolutely.
then the second video is a man by himself who is just horrifically bashed.
They're trying to water it down, but the only thing that'll make a difference is prosecutions, handcuffs, and that is the deterrence. And we keep talking about Bukele and El Salvador and how he has done that by having very, very strong consequences for criminality. We need to bring that back, especially after BLM. The system has sent a very bad message that you can do these kinds of things and get away with it, especially if you're from certain groups.
Yeah.
And that has to be turned around.
Welcome back. Now, there was a shocking mass shooting in New York City today that left 4 innocent people dead, including a police officer. But before the assailant was named, we had media outlets like CNN trying to guess the race of the gunman, desperate to know how white he was, even though the picture release showed he was not.
They do not know who he is. They know he is a male, possibly white. He's wearing sunglasses. He appears to have a mustache. And that picture has been distributed to every police officer in New York City.
Yes, the colour of the 27-year-old mass shooter identified by sources as Shane Tamara was somehow hugely relevant to CNN. Joining me now is a comedian and host of Primetime with Alex Stein on Blaze TV. Alex, the media continue to disgrace themselves. Just when you think they can't sink any lower, they go and surprise you.
Well, I'm not surprised whatsoever. I mean, if you look at the media and you look at their track record, when
context. All right, now the context. Ugly people are cooked. It's over for the ugly people. Insane ugly person drama happening right now. We're making fun of ugly people. Now, you might think that it's pretty diabolical to make a video calling out the ugly of society. I disagree. I think it is important. I think it is morally justified to insult ugly people. Now, not generally speaking, specifically, but I do think it is important specifically in context. All right, now, the context here is that society has been pushing this uglification of humans on people for a very long time. In Hollywood and movies and video games. And in my opinion, it is done as a psyop. It is literally done as a psyop to incentivize women to let go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Come on, women, you don't need no man. You uglify yourself. It'll be great. It'll be great. Chow down! Everyone needs to look like Frogan. All right, this is my incredibly hot take. A lot of people are probably going to disagree and think that it doesn't have to do with that. I think it is. I think ugly people want other people to be ugly to make composition for themselves better. I think modern feminism has kind of devolved into this catfight where everyone is trying to kind of cuck each other in the saddest way ever, trying to cuck each other and having them fail so that they could actually be the successful, beautiful person and everyone else is kind of a failure dolphin human. Now, this is my opinion. Is it cancelable? Yes, but that's why you subscribe. So now, to be honest, Rachel Ziegler is known as one of those beautiful creatures to ever walk the face of the earth. Clearly as pretty as the Seven Dwarfs. And other very famous actresses, we got Bella Ramsey as Ellie. Truly peak femininity on the agenda. Listen, man, when I think femininity, I think of Bella Ramsey. Listen, man, there is not a coincidence that this is the new casting. By the way, a lot of you are unaware, it is very likely that she will be casted for the next Wonder Woman. This is actually something that people are discussing. I find it unlikely, because I think Woke is going to be dead by then. There's no fucking way. But realistically, ugly girls need love too. I agree, but you know, they should try their best to be as less ugly as they can. I'm not insulting ugly women. I have nothing but respect for ugly women. I just don't think we need to sit here and glorify ugly people. Oh my god, what happened to me? Anyway, there's been this drama on the internet in regards to video games for a very long time.
The reasons why these shows and these things are popular are because people like looking at attractive women.
No! Thanks, feminism. Society has tried their absolute push people into thinking that it is bad to have attractive women. Attractive women are not good. Now, the irony is, they dress them. They just don't. Like, you have to realize how diabolical the mindset of the people. Like, you have to understand how insane it is, right? Like on the one hand, however, they all sleep around with everyone. And now, my opinion is the following: there is nothing worse than an ugly whore. Ugly whore is the worst kind of whore.
That's the reason why. And so, and I would love, I would give any amount of money to the person I'm angry about.
Oh shit.
This woman doesn't look conventionally attractive, and this one does.
True.
People want to play characters that look conventionally attractive so they can look up the character's skirt and imagine having sex with the character. The reason why that is because the majority of people that play video games like this are guys. And a lot of those guys can't get a girl like this. And so they have to settle for jerking off to this character while, you know, having the controller set to vibrate. So this is the next best thing. That's the reason why. And you want to get mad at me for saying this, don't shoot the messenger. Look at the fucking facts.
True.
Look at
the games make less money. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. In my opinion, this isn't the evil of it. I think purely financially speaking, he's completely right.
Porn exists. You're right. Exactly. Doesn't that prove it? People like that. It's so fucking true. They just want their characters to be fuckable, and that's it. I've never seen one of them say that. Evan is lying. Evan is a lying little bitch. Because he has criticized me for saying this. And seen clips of me and then retweeted them crying about me saying that I wanted the characters to be fuckable. And he said, this man is disgusting. And now he's saying that he's never seen someone say it. I'm saying it right fucking now. That's the reason. 98% of actors are attractive. Yes, they are.
Now, I think it's important to show this because I do think from a financial standpoint, that is why attractive women obviously sell more games. That is why Designed with Gamers in Mind is this and Designed with Activists in Mind is this, because realistically, obviously, you want to look at attractive people. That's just how God made you, and I think that that's life. However, I do think that there is obviously something incredibly vindictive and evil there about propagandizing people into promoting this uglification of people. And I really think it's a real thing. I think it's a feminist infighting thing. I really do believe that. And anyway, lock in, boys and girls, because we are about to watch The Age of Ugly is over. Because realistically, these companies care a lot about pushing agendas, but they care a lot more about making money. So let's join together and make fun of the uglification of retards. What is that thing? I don't know, but it's better than this thing. So count your blessings, okay?
I have hair.
I didn't notice. So immediately, the twist is real. You got a plot twist in real time. Subscribe.
In my armpit.
Morning. You think you're pretty smart now, don't you? Here's your pay, Einstein.
This should not be glorified. Listen, again, I have no hate towards ugly people. Some people are born that way, and God did good with how he created you. Everyone was created with
Listen up, jackass. Get moving, jackass. This don't pay
my
my
make believe it's a good thing at its peak. All right? I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Do you identify as truck?
Just a reminder that I'm very fat.
You did not need to remind us, all right? And you are propagandizing people to thinking it's cool and good and better for society to be morbidly obese. This is peak degeneracy. I've said this before, and I will say it again. A lot of people do this as a way of coping. This is modern cope. Modern cope isn't just alone. Modern cope is get everyone else to have your problems with you so that you could communally sit together and they believe that you are peak physical form. You are not.
I'm very sexy.
Sorry. I apologize.
So, your child has come out to you.
Don't talk about my child! Why would you do that? Oh, what? Literally why? Every time! Oh my god!
I
I've had the revelation that I identify as non-binary.
I am still not certain what to make of this.
I am. I'm telling you, man, I do think it's this group acceptance that I think should be immediately killed from society. I'm sorry, I say the things that everyone's afraid to hear. I do. I get endless shit for it on the internet, but you know what? I said it before, and I will say it again. Endless shit jutsu, it's happening. The endless shit is as follows. Society wants you to accept things that should not be accepted because it's so much easier to sit and fucking virtue signal from your $4,000 industrial strength chair that's used to keep your ass off the ground instead of actually realistically working on yourself and recognizing that you have a problem.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell.
Oh my god. Okay, completely random, but I have a very funny story about this. So, I was talking to her on Twitter, alright, after I reacted to her last video. Essentially, I thought, like, I messaged her, and she responded, and I was like, whoa, why are you answering me at 4 o'clock in the morning in Australia? And she was like, I'm not in Australia. And I'm like, oh. So, in your intros, when you say, welcome back to hell, you don't mean Australia? I said, no. I don't know why. I always thought welcome to hell meant Australia. I always thought it meant Australia. It's crazy. I was so fucking racist by accident. No, but, like, I really thought that was the joke. Like, I literally thought the joke was hell was Australia. And she's like, no, hell is society. And I was like, I see. Okay. I should have noticed. I shouldn't have assumed hell was Australia, because it's like on the opposite side of the... Anyway, we got along great.
So before we do this, before we do the meat and potatoes, 2 very important things. Number 1, new tea is here. It's finally in stock. So I have been packing and shipping your orders. Once again, on a serious note, thank you guys so much for being patient. I know that these pre-sale times are very... my own fun ideas, but honestly, tell me what do you want to see? Maybe a little bit of this.
Oh, let's go. Oh, that's breakdance. She's breakdancing. That was something.
Feel this. But you weird internet people know what ain't manly? When my testicles get squished and touch my legs. Who knows? But what I do know
happens. It's true. It happens. I know. I've been there.
That you should all 100% go into my description box, buy some tickets, and come see me. And I'll see you. And it will be wonderful.
It'll be wonderful.
On an actual serious note, I do like a lot of fun to see that. All of you guys, and you guys meeting each other. And I came across a tweet that perfectly encapsulated a thought that I have also been having recently. In response to a new picture of Demi Lovato looking very feminine and beautiful.
I have a really hot take. That lip shit is horrible, man. It's horrible, bro. The like duck lips thing, nah, bro. That's diabolical. Like this is the kind of thing only women are find attractive. It's like I don't understand, man. I don't understand. It's like you have a lot of I think people are actively like sabotaging each other. There has to be there's like this woman sabotage point where you get a lot of women together. They're all like, oh hell yeah, it is beautiful when you inject shit into your face. And they're like, oh really? Yeah, it's beautiful when you inject shit into your face. And everyone comes out. Bro, this is some plastic shit, man. Like what?
The author said this on Instagram not too long ago that there was this weird trend where people, mainly celebrities, were uglying, that's very hard to say, uglying themselves, embracing gender dysphoria, and just overall promoting mental illness.
Embracing mental illness. This actually sums up the entire movement so fucking well. Oh my god.
An unhealthy lifestyle. It was roughly between the years 2016 to 2023. Something shifted at the end of 2023, and it suddenly became cool to be normal and hot again. Demi Lovato is the poster child of this phenomenon.
Honestly, that's a really good take. Because we're mental illness should not be glorified, it should be treated. That's my hot take. I don't think that we should just be sitting together as a society glorifying each other's problems. We should be recognizing those problems, recognizing that you are still a perfectly beautiful person even with your problems, and working past those problems. I do not think that society should be about getting together, huddling together, and killing ourselves collectively as a species.
She is indeed.
It's beautiful to be fat, dead at 47. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, guys? This is some bullshit.
Can't even remember to use her own they-them pronouns. Ironic.
I still mess up sometimes and...
See, like, what are we doing?
Say, oh, I can't wait to...
What?
one day and I'm like, wait.
But the reason seeing this post was so funny to me is because ages ago I had written a video where everything and everyone was so
Good question.
because of modernity. This was apparently the same idea that a lot of other YouTubers and journalists had as well, spanning multiple social and cultural ideas.
Oh lord, these thumbnails, every single one.
Some commenting on how art and entertainment are both soulless and bland, how modern fashion is hideous, and the general unattractiveness associated with wokeism.
Why is everything so ugly? Why is everywhere we go, all of our stores, our advertisements, like everything that we interact with as people in the outside world, our TV, our music, why is it all so ugly?
It's a good question. It's a really good question. It's because half of society is hell-bent on being so inclusive, you're including complete retards and mental disorders into your life. Listen, man, I think that's a big chunk of it. Maybe I see beauty as different than the way other people see beauty. I see beauty as opening the border and immigrants coming into the country, all over the place because they don't have a place to live. Why would they have a place to live? They're not from here. See, I personally view that as an uglification of society. I also, as a hypothetical, I also think it's not beautiful when society is sitting there and essentially convincing people that, hey, it's good to be fat. It's a good thing. It's good to be fat, guys. Lizzo said she's proud of herself, guys.
Because, as we've all learned over the last number of years, there is a reason why the blue-haired feminist stereotype persists. And we can all identify who is a they-them based on appearance alone.
That's
I
weird,
don't
huh?
like lying.
Bro! Oh my lord! You're like mental asylum, right? Like, I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but mental asylum. But like, brother, get me the flamer.
Like who I am. And the temper tantrums. The screaming.
You're like, why are we glorifying this? We should not be glorifying it. Lady, you need a husband. I'm sorry, man. You need a husband. You do. This wouldn't happen. This would not happen. What is happening?
Not too long ago, I even remember watching the announcement for the Eurovision Song Contest and thinking,
oh lord!
How did we end up here, where this type of thing has become culturally normalized and people are happy?
Yeah, great question.
Do you know what makes me special? I'm a queer.
Yeah, if that's what makes you special, then you have a problem. I think that everyone is special. We're all created in the image of God, right? We're all special. What can I say? If you feel the need to fucking, do this shit to yourself, man, like, are we talking like Special Olympics kind of special, or like special, you know?
And I'm a...
Oh god. That should not be in Eurovision. Are we recognizing the problem? This isn't just a retard. This is a retard that's being used as propaganda. Like, do we recognize how insane this is? Do we recognize the insanity? That this isn't just a retard. This is retard propaganda. Trying to get more people to become retards. Holy moly. Like, this was Eurovision. This was public, bro. I'm a queer, so I have horns now. Makes sense. Yeah, this is some demonic shit, bro.
I'm not queer. You are a straight person trying to be interesting. Anyway, the last decade or so has honestly been all about representation and diversity and body positivity, and recently...
I don't agree. I think it's about accepting hedonism. In my opinion, I don't think it's about any of those things. I think it's about one thing, and I think that one thing has bled out into all these other things. Because that's my opinion.
Gender fluidity, giving us, I would argue, one of the ugliest periods in history. With all of this ugliness injected into absolutely everything, from politics to entertainment to media to social media. But that seemingly has
everywhere.
come to an end recently. Because finally, for the first time in a long time, being hot and normal is back in style.
Yeah, because honestly, it failed. I think it failed miserably. I think it was a social experiment that absolutely fucking shot itself in the dick twice.
Thank fuck. So I want to talk about that because I find all these type of things very interesting, and also I get to remind you all about a lot of weird crap that you've probably forgotten.
Oh,
I'll also caveat here,
trauma.
Disclaimers, like this video is by no means exhaustive, that obviously attractiveness and ugliness are subjective things. There's also
True. However, some things are more subjective than others, okay? Listen, when I say subjective, I mean, you might think that it's an 8, you might think that it's a 9, you might think that it's a 10. But, you know, you're not gonna think it's a 1. Know what I'm saying?
Also, nothing wrong with promoting self-acceptance and actual body positivity around things that you can't change. No, that does not include being shaped like the Kool-Aid man.
True! I'm just saying, obesity is the one issue that you can literally outrun.
I'm also only concentrating on one specific area of this conversation, but yes, I too would like McDonald's to look like it did in the 90s. So come on board, kids. Get aboard ye old hell gondola, and let's do the thing.
I still can't believe I thought that hell was Australia this whole time, man. I feel like that's so fucked up of me, bro. You don't understand. Like, we were coping together because her Pedro Pascal video got demonetized, and my Pedro Pascal video got copyrighted. All right? So we were kind of in a cope session. And then I told her that, yeah, when you say welcome to hell, you mean Australia, right?
Thing, because I am ready to re-traumatize you all. But before we once again cuddle up together, let's hear from today's sponsor, Chubbies. As all of you know, I like to make really silly ads for brands. Sorry, Murphy's down here. But for this one, the message is a little bit more serious, so I want to be a little bit more serious.
Okay.
I told all of you recently about how I have been suffering for a number of years from obsessive-compulsive disorder brought on by anxiety, which thankfully has gotten better over the last number of years.
Hell yeah.
Which is incredibly isolating when you're going through it, and unfortunately more and more people are suffering from anxiety and depression. So given that this issue is very, very close to my heart, when Chubbies reached—
Do you think that anxiety and depression being more popular in society has anything to do with, like, a lot of the social shit that goes on? Promoting a lot of crazy stuff that realistically makes people unhappy? Like, do you think that potentially is something that caused it? I don't know. I mean, we all know that there's like actual physiological data that proves that obesity leads to depression. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't look at the statistics of suicide rates of certain people with certain mental illnesses, but it turns out it's pretty bad.
Out and said that they wanted to sponsor a video. I was extremely excited. These adorable little plushies are more than just a stuffed toy. They are part of a movement towards comfort, connection, and healing.
Aww.
And yes, they are super cute and soft on their own, let me tell you, but when you buy a Chubby, you gain access to a whole community full of therapeutic resources, stress management tools, and importantly, people who understand what you are going through. I love this concept. I love this idea. These are so freaking cute, and honestly, in an age where technology is isolating us further from one another, where we spend so much more time in our homes not connecting with one another, where a lot of people suffer in silence, I love is trying to build a community that is going to help people and provide resources towards making them feel better within themselves.
All right, let's just take a bet here. How many months until they release a crypto scan?
My dogs have also been going crazy ever since I got these in the mail, and anything that has Murphy's seal of approval is amazing in my books. So if you too want a cute little friend to hug and also the support of a community, then click the link in the description or go to chubbies.com, and don't forget to use code Sydney10 for 10% off your order.
Alright.
From the mid-2010s.
Oh my lord, holy shit. It's like, how is this accepted in society? How do we have to start making fun of people again. Like, we've gotten so pathetic and soft that this movement actually managed to take over. I'll be the martyr, bro. I'll be the fucking martyr. I will be the martyr. I don't care. I do not care. We have to call retards again. Like, she should be ashamed. She should be ashamed to be dressed like that.
Maybe earlier until
like it's literally insane how many mental illnesses you can wrap in a single person. For real. Is she wearing the Palestinian keffiyeh scarf thing also? Like, bro, oh my god.
So very recently, there was a huge cultural change,
brother,
in the West when it came to attractiveness.
Oh my god, dude, where are your parents? What values did you grow up with?
There were a multitude of reasons for this, but some included
oh my god, their breasts are empty. Do you know what that smells like?
A knee-jerk reaction to the aesthetics of the 2000s, the rise of the body positivity.
Oh, like this is crazy, bro. This is crazy, dude.
Movement, the emphasis on living one's truth and breaking gender stereotypes.
Yeah, the whole living one's truth thing is, I think, an excuse to have responsibility at this point. Like, it really is. Like, this shit got so off the rails, it's crazy. And everyone's afraid to call it out. Why is everyone such a pussy?
And the feminist attempt to defy what men find attractive.
Yeah, so that's retarded. You are literally killing yourself so that men aren't happy. Do you understand how diabolical that is? The feminist movement has moved so far that now women are killing themselves to make men unhappy. Literally cutting your nose off to spite your face. Like, how did this happen? Oh my god, dude. The feminist movement is literally, it's got so insane. Like, I feel like it started with, like, one little point, and then it evolved, and evolved, and evolved, and grew into, like, this actual fucking metastasized cancer. It's crazy.
And as a result, we got a wave of what I think has been the intentional uglification of seemingly everything and everyone.
I think so, too. I think she's right. I think it's an intentional uglification of things. It really is. And it's evil. It's actually, like, fucking evil. Because these aren't happy people. Like, look at her. You think she's a happy person? She's an insane person. She's an insane person that I can bet you any money has no father in her life.
A lot of discourse on TikTok about the male repellent outfit, and usually it's just like a cute little red cardigan and like maybe some ballet flats. But when I tell you, I'm gonna do you one more. This is the ultimate male repellent formula.
Like I mentioned, I think that this uglification is very strongly tied to the stranglehold that progressive woke ideals had on basically everything.
I completely agree.
And the aesthetics, in turn, showed up to match. Showed up to burn my retinas, actually. Celebrities all...
Oh my god! I just showed this creature to you. I've showed this creature to you.
All over the place, we're starting to hop on the transgender, non-binary, gender-fluid bandwagon. Going from being quite regular-looking or attractive to ghastly overnight.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy that we went this far. It's crazy that we went this far. And it's, you know what the craziest part? Society let them. Like, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Empathy is not used to be accepting of people that are trying to actively kill themselves and ruin their lives. If you will show empathy, quote-unquote, to these people, and you are contributing to their self-destruction, that is not empathy. Okay? That is you being too much of a pussy
that's sympathy.
to do the hard shit and
Oh my god.
That's my opinion. You are innate.
Why do people not know the difference between sympathy and empathy?
Telling them that it's good to smoke, it's good to drink. You're gonna be their support guy. Support guy. They identify
I don't like how I don't like that.
Like, it's insane. It is not compassion. It is not empathy. It is hedonism. It is this crazy devolution into a society where there are no morals. Everything is subjective. And I think that that's toxic as fuck. And I think
the difference is
start calling retards again.
If your dog dies, I have sympathy for you because you lost your dog.
And society cheered.
I could also have empathy for you because I too have also lost a dog.
You are murdering yourself.
Who came out in 2021,
empathy is it's another level of understanding others' feelings.
Stage wearing the outrageous outfit.
It's understanding other people's feelings through experience.
This is propaganda that kids are watching, and honestly, this is a social contagion. So many more kids end up, you know, either trans or whatever, when realistically they're exposed to it in large quantities. So why are we exposing kids to any of this? Why should any of this be accepted on television? This should not be accepted on television that kids could watch. Kids should not be at pride parades where people's balls are hanging out of their skirts. Like, this is absolute insanity. It really is. It absolutely is.
Mildly. During various performances, the singer wore a red latex suit with devil horns.
Of course. Because there literally is always this really weird collaboration between hedonism and Satanism. How is it that all of them cosplay Satan when they do this? It's like, come on, bro.
simulated sex acts on dancers on stage.
Very cool. Hell yeah, dude. Absolute sin and degeneracy, and society not only claps for them, but posts this on public television.
And danced around in fishnets and a corset. At the 2023 Brit
Oh my god, what the fuck am I looking at?
Brit Awards, Smith wore an inflatable black Harry jumpsuit with platform heels.
Like this is actual societal grooming. They are grooming a generation. Oh my lord. See, this should not be accepted because kids should not be even exposed to stuff like this. Brother looks like a One Piece character.
What am I looking at here? Head shaved, strange outfits and makeup, doing whatever could be done to appear as non-conventional as possible.
And the crazy thing is, a lot of it's a grift. Like, a lot of it's a grift. No way you think you're living your true self wearing this fucking absolute crazy
Mark, didn't we agree your
BDSM
first job was
inflatable
going to be
butt plug
free?
gear. Like,
Damn,
brother,
this
no,
is all I can
no,
spare.
this isn't how you feel yourself. This is how you're getting attention. And you getting attention through this is negatively affecting a generation.
Name's not
They
important.
don't.
What are you standing there for? Don't you have work to do?
I'm not sure I'm brave enough to
Money
do
talks,
this.
bullshit
This one
walks.
is just
Oh,
very
God.
upsetting.
Yeah, that's the worst thing ever. That's the worst thing ever.
All
bro.
on its own. Sometimes I genuinely feel like stylists actually hate the people that they're styling. Because why would you do this? Anyway, Demi Lovato followed much the same path. In 2021, after her non-binary announcement, Lovato shaved her head, saying that the act was liberating and helped her shrug off gender and sexuality norms.
Why, bro? And why is society letting them kill themselves like this? Like, they're ruining their lives, and they're ruining the lives of the people around them, too.
Soon, she opted for baggy, grungy clothes.
Someone just sent me a clip of,
No refunds.
who?
Deal's
The Sam
done.
guy?
Now, beat it,
Do I need
fucker.
to see this, bro? I feel like I don't know if I want to see this. I'm not gonna lie. Like, haven't we suffered enough?
Do you got any vitamins?
Selling to even a dumbass like you.
Oh my god, that's the same guy. Oh my god, it's the same guy. Now he looks like a fucking One Piece latex butt plug. What happened? What happened?
Well, there's a fucking door. Why don't you use
On the
it?
side of her head.
Oh my god, literally, why would you do this? Why? Like, these people are all gonna die alone or overdose or kill themselves. Like, is there any wonder why there's such an uptick of any of this shit?
As you do. Around
I
the
thought
same
it
time,
looted
she
that
also
house.
freaked out about a frozen yogurt shop after being triggered by their selection of sugar-free options.
Imagine living a life where you're triggered by sugar-free yogurt. Sugar-free yogurt! Like, what are we doing? You cannot survive in the real world.
Previously having an eating disorder. But somewhere
Bro, who's gonna marry this person? Who's gonna take care of her when she's old, man? If she gets there.
between then and now, both musicians moved very far away from this kind of appearance. Thank God. Lovato publicly ditched the non-binary thing, telling outlets back in 2022 that it was a lot of effort correcting people who used the wrong pronouns.
Oh my god, you've got to be shitting me. What was that? Demi Lovato readopted she, her pronouns because explaining they, them was exhausting. Why are we even doing the they, them thing? Like, could we finish? Could this, like, could this whole thing die? Like, could we stop? She got bored of it. It's not cool anymore. It's not trendy. People weren't paying attention to her anymore, so she decided to drop it. Like, why are we still playing into this shit? Like, she couldn't even fake it, bro. Like, pronouns are words. They don't hurt you. You have no principles. Like, you are a completely unprincipled hedonist.
Soon she got married, and now she's making cute cooking videos.
Look at that. Look at that. And she's happier. Look at that. Could you compare her right now, married, making cooking videos, compared to, I don't know, spider tattoo, head shaven, having mental breakdowns over sugar-free yogurt? Like, when was she more mentally sound?
In fairness to Demi Lovato, she was a Disney kid, which I feel like answers a lot of questions in and of itself, and she has had a lot of struggle.
If you're a Disney kid, then in my opinion, you were groomed by the most degenerate industry on the planet. So let's be honest, brother. Let's be real. That's horrifying.
With addiction and with mental health and whatnot. So I think that her becoming what she is now and sort of returning to this feminized, feminine version of herself probably has more to do with tackling those existing issues rather than, I don't know, jumping off of the weird gender identity bandwagon.
I mean, I think it's a whole mix of things, man. It really is a mix of things. Like, I think it's that society isn't treating her as special anymore because now everyone's doing it. She did it for a while. It's not new. It's not interesting. The grift failed. And she was deeply unhappy. She was probably wildly depressed and deeply unhappy. And, you know, she moved towards something that could actually make her happy and feel fulfilled. I don't know, be part of a relationship, have a family. Like, because realistically, that's the shit that's important in life. It's not the grift.
As far as Sam Smith goes, I don't know. But I do know that very recently, actually in the last couple of days, he posted 2 very nice looking pictures on Instagram and has essentially scrubbed his weird
no more autistic butt plug looking motherfucker.
Era from the platform entirely. So do with that what you will. This same transformation went for people like Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, I remember that. Dude, when she had her crash out, I lost my mind.
Billie Eilish and even Lizzo.
Oh, bro, dude, holy shit. Frogan, put the hijab back on, Frogan.
Women who promoted specific, fairly visually unappealing aesthetics later turn around and more or less embrace.
Wait, I gotta see that.
And I think this was guided by gender identity and this
Gotta
social
see it.
concept of living one's truth and being one's authentic self. Basically, every single one of these people living. I think this appealing aesthetic.
The hijab back on, Frogan.
Oh, it was Lizzo.
Fairly visually unappealing aesthetics and later turn around and more or less embrace normalcy. And I think this was guided by gender identity and this social concept of living one's truth and being one's authentic self. Basically, every single one of these people, with the exception of Lizzo, but we'll come back to her later, has claimed to be gender fluid or non-binary or some part of the community.
I mean, realistically, this is crazy. I do think that there is some crazy grooming going on. Like, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that all these people develop the same habits and the same trends and the same grip literally every time, and they grow out of it because it's not natural for any of these people? It was literally a social contagion that got them there. Like, bruh, they were not born gay, alright? They were not born retarded, alright? They embraced the retard, alright? None of that shit came naturally to any of these people, but they literally were groomed into it. Trans terrorism? I don't know, man. It's like, it's actually reached like this stage where you are more accepted if you uglify yourself. It is better for you to show people that they should do this. Like, it's some unbelievable satanic shit.
And we see exactly this reflected in women, predominantly, over on TikTok. I am very sorry for what I'm about to show you.
Oh.
No, I'm not. I am lying. It is not a joke. Look at some.
This is crazy, bro. What is happening? French mime mannequin looking motherfucker. I don't even know.
One in their particular aesthetic and be more or less able to identify.
Wait, I know that creature.
That you can look at someone.
Safety pins on his ears.
One in their particular aesthetic.
What is even happening here?
They can be more or less.
Isn't this like a debater on like Jubilee and like goes on all those fucking debate shows?
Able to identify.
She goes out there and has literally the worst takes of all time. Oh my god.
Identify their.
Oh my god, is that Destiny? Like, you know, the political commentator Destiny? He's always like talking about dead children and stuff.
Political leanings and beliefs.
Destiny.
Sexy and chubby, man.
Why do you want to diet?
Because I like to eat. Is that the crime?
Well, if suicide is a crime, then I guess it is.
The TikTok gender identity aesthetics are based around signaling one's rejection of the male and female binary.
And we celebrate this because we are a sick culture, in my opinion. And I think that shit has to die immediately. And I know, remember guys, you get banned if you criticize this. Until now.
Those have always been the only 2 options, guys. I'm sorry. TikTok's anti-fashion trends.
What am I even looking at, bro?
Have genuinely been an attempt to appear as unattractive as possible. And outside of the gender thing, they chalk this up to breaking beauty conventions.
Oh my fucking god, bro. This is unreal.
This is why we ended up with movements like Jen You Hate.
This is like burn it. Actually burn it, bro. This is crazy. Like these are brainwashed people brainwashed by society, by the culture.
That encouraged women to grow out their body. Women proudly participated in this.
I'm all natural. So I have this thing, call it a little...
God, what's Tectone doing here? Dude, why would she include Tectone in the video? That is diabolical. I cannot believe she included Tectone in the video. This is crazy. This is crazy. Like, listen, Tectone did not deserve this. He did not deserve this, brother. Oh my god.
Quirk, if you will. I have hair in my armpit. I have it there for a few reasons.
And so does Tectone.
1, lazy. 2, fuck the
You should not be proud of that.
patriarchy. And
Patriarchy is great. We gotta get back to the patriarchy, guys. I'm just saying. If this is what the matriarchy is doing to women, the patriarchy was kind of good.
3, your response to them tells me everything I need to know about you.
That I have a stable family and a healthy relationship and a wonderful life, and I'm happy to wake up every single day, grateful to God for being alive and contributing to this world. Is that what it's telling you about me? That I have standards?
Ma'am, I think you've been shaving the wrong part of your body. This is also why we ended up with such a huge fat acceptance.
You see what she did there when she said huge? Yeah, and again, it's demonic. You're killing yourselves, man.
What initially started as...
Like, we should not be celebrating this at all. And the entire movement of celebrating this, like, it is literally satanic. It is the opposite of any moral teaching that is ever taught any time throughout all of history.
Body positivity, an idea that encouraged people to love themselves despite their flaws.
Fat visibility. Lady, you were never invisible. Visibility has been your superpower. What do you mean fat visibility? Brother, that has never been a problem.
Morph into fat people wanting representation, absolutely.
I'm a fat wheelchair user. Just call yourself disabled. What does that mean, a fat wheelchair user? And, like, power to you. I hope you have a wonderful life. I'm praying for you. I really hope you have a wonderful life. But number one is not saying it's great to be in a wheelchair. It's not.
Absolutely everywhere. Wanting to see themselves.
Brother, like, every single person, we failed these people. We failed them. We failed our brothers and sisters. Oh my god, I can't believe Tectone got a tattoo on his neck. That's crazy. Like, I was sure Tectone wouldn't ever get that tattoo like that. Like, I know Tectone got that other tattoo, like, on his neck, like the small one. I didn't think he'd get, like, this double chin tattoo also. That's crazy. Oh my god, poor Tectone.
And be accommodated absolutely everywhere. This eventually turned into
Hillary Clinton.
The outright normalization of obesity.
Yeah, which is wild.
Just a reminder that I'm very fat
You got 2/3 of the screen, lady.
and very sexy.
Well, you're one of those things.
And I am 100% glorifying obesity.
Yeah, you're gonna be dead at 37.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, yeah. Here, but I smell your breath from here. Okay, listen, I'm just saying, I can smell you through my screen.
Sorry, was I too confident in my...
Yeah, a little too confident. Brothers, past our food, brothers!
my own body? That I overcame so many struggles to learn how to love?
Yeah, I don't actually feel bad about insulting these people. What are they gonna do? Chase me? Like, I can outrun all of these people.
Oh, she's so full of herself now.
Yeah, she's full. She is full. She is full of something.
Well, who the fuck am I supposed to be full of if it ain't...
You are full of yourself.
Me.
I'm both too young and too old to be doing this. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand loving yourself, but maybe we could do that a little less loudly.
I'm sorry to be the guy to say this and pop this bubble and delusion.
Love? Oh, she's so full of herself now. Well, who the fuck am I supposed to be full of if it ain't me?
No one that says this loves themselves. First of all, that's a lot of self to love. Second of all, and I'm not going to lie, these people hate themselves. These are depressed people. They are coping, and they are literally going out there to make believe that they love themselves. In my opinion, to continue this social contagion of making other people develop their own orbits as well. Alright, this is someone that literally lives in 2 area codes at the same fucking time. Okay? If she stood on the scale, she'd see her phone number. If she jumped into the red sea, she'd say, hey, Moses, beat that. Alright? I am not going to lie to you, brothers. She has pillows for arms. She does not love herself. And she is not a happy person. And I'm not trying to be rude here, but I am trying to be realistic.
I both too young and too old to be seeing this. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand loving yourself, but maybe we could do that a little less loudly.
Yeah, I don't think she loves herself. I don't. And I think
Fucker
that the
climbed a
reason why
barbed
she
wire
does it is
fence.
because she's trying to act as the social contagion that she is to get other people to accept it, to compliment her, and to join her in this cult of degeneracy, where you have modern feminists literally fucking gaslighting each other into thinking that this is a good thing for you, literally to kill each other.
And on a treadmill. But as all of this gained in popularity, as more celebrities jumped on board,
Bro, she looks like the type of person that would get jump scared by a cabbage.
the corporate and entertainment spaces saw an opportunity to make a bunch of money. Suddenly, people like Jonathan Van Ness and Alok Vaid-Menon, a
Like, this should not be celebrated, right?
non-binary activist, were appearing in news and media
Activist.
absolutely everywhere. Back in 2023, Burberry
Oh, this is so gross, man. It's so disgusting, bro.
published images for a Valentine's Day campaign showing a model with a most bizarre haircut, and that's honestly putting it pretty mildly,
Yeah, that's not the haircut that I was looking at.
and another model with double mastectomy scars.
No! The breasts! They're empty! Do you know what that smells like?
For a high-end brand, this felt insanely out of place.
It's not just out of place, it's about pushing this shit. Something is pushing this shit.
I know this isn't directly related, but brands who had absolutely nothing to do with and weren't remotely in the realm of transgenderism decided to jump on the bandwagon.
Of course!
Like bloody
Because they get themselves stupid fucking grift virtue signal points on the internet.
Bud Light, the redneck man beer
Yeah,
brand,
this is
partnering
crazy.
with Dylan.
This might have been easily the worst marketing decision of all time.
Who was this supposed to appeal to?
It wasn't supposed to appeal to anyone. It was supposed to indoctrinate. There's a big difference between appeal and indoctrinate. And once you realize that these actors are malicious, you start to understand how a lot of these things make sense.
I do think it's interesting that Bud Light has still not recovered from this.
I also find that hilarious. I think that's fucking funny as shit.
Trans, too close to the sun. We had this overemphasis on plus size inclusion in absolutely everything. And as many
Dude, when you see like these fat superheroes, it's just you like say, why are we doing this? Like, bro, Shrek was peak, okay? And he was a fat guy. You know why? Because it literally wasn't there as propaganda. Okay, but this is crazy.
Did you know this went far beyond showing everyday normal bodies and fully branched into promoting morbid obesity?
Yep.
Lizzo was the poster
Which is a disease, okay?
child for this, making videos defending being fat, suggesting those critical of
This is horrible, bro.
size,
Like, I want to see less of you, not more of you.
antibody
Kung Fu Panda was amazing. Remember Kung Fu Panda? That shit was awesome. And then the entire movement got hijacked by convincing people to get fat.
Tess Holiday was
Oh Lord, oh my God.
consistently in the news.
Oh my God, she's not wearing a tablecloth, she's wearing a whole table.
He appeared on the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine, sparking an intense debate around the promotion of obesity. But she wasn't the only one, and Cosmo wasn't the only magazine. In the same year, Holiday appeared on the cover of the outlet Self. A few years later, in 2022, the same outlet published a series of images of a fat influencer called Jasmine, calling her the future of fitness. She also appeared on the cover of Cosmo. Sydney, not even close. It's pronounced Jessamine, I think. I don't know why you can't read. In 2020, Calvin Klein ran ads with fat trans model.
They're collecting mental illnesses like Pokemon out there, bro. Like, I don't know, bro, what's happening, man. This is crazy.
Yari Jones. Why are names so hard? Why?
Oh, because they chose these names!
This way. The year before,
Pick a struggle! Oh my lord! Pick a fucking struggle!
they ran a campaign with a model who is best described as
She's bigger than the billboard!
obese. Never forget what they took from us. My issue with this specifically is that in an effort to jump on the body positivity bandwagon, what ended up happening was fat acceptance became more normalized and obesity became—
Which is bad, by the way, because it's terrible for society. They are— Look, man, look, let's be real here, alright? Every single one of these comes down to a very, very simple point. Alright, listen. Pay no attention to that. That's gonna get me canceled in a different video. Let's be real here. What are the parades called? They do? Pride, right? So that's one thing to think about. What else are they promoting? Obesity acceptance, obesity shit, like fat acceptance as they call it. All right, let's call it gluttony. All right, what else are they doing? What else are they including? Are they doing all this other crazy shit in regards to sleeping around with like millions of people? And there ain't no man here. There ain't no man. What's that one? We call that lust in this house, baby. That's what we call it. All right. What else do we got? What else do we got? Don't do anything with your life. How about that? Don't have children. Don't do anything with your life. Society is shit. Pushing communism on people. All right, that sounds like sloth to me, baby. That sounds a hell of a lot like sloth to me. All right, what else? What else are we pushing? What else are we pushing? You're never gonna be as rich as the billionaires. The billionaires, they're successful. You're never gonna be as rich as them. You just have to look at all the fucking bullshit people out there that are pushing their absolute degenerate lifestyle that you will never have. That sounds a little bit like envy. Right? Like you're envious of these people that are gonna have lives that you will never have, right? What else do we got? What else do we got? We got eat the rich, kill the rich. What about that? What do we think? We got riots in LA when you have something the government is against. Something the government is against and you have wrath for that? What about killing babies? What about mutilating children? What about killing babies before they even have the ability to walk? I don't know, that sounds pretty wrathful to me. I don't know, man. Listen, we're pushing that shit all the time. Listen, I heard that, I heard abortion is the newest contraception, baby. That's pretty crazy. That's a real thing, huh? What are we missing? I feel like what are we missing? And greed is the easiest. These people are literally becoming transgender, non-binary people for grifting. That's literally what's happening. Like, you have people promoting actual suicidal levels of propaganda to make money. Like, you have companies that are cashing in on actually killing society. Actually killing society for money. Like, literally. Like, it does not get any more obvious that there's some crazy immoral shit happening. Like, come on, dude. Oh my god.
Became normalized, and having deeply and inherently unhealthy habits became more normalized. And I guess what's interesting and what kind of fits into the overall vibe of this video is that many of the primary players during this time have either faded into nothingness or they've gone ahead and lost a ton of weight. Like Lizzo, who recently popped back up after having lost a tremendous amount of weight.
Well, that'll give her a couple more years, that's good.
And honestly, she looks really great, and I think this is actually quite a cool achievement for her.
Yeah, she looks great, guys. Okay, good. Listen, shut up, chat. I know what you're thinking. She looks great, okay? Okay, chat. She looks great, okay? She looks great, chat. Okay, let's be nice. Okay, let's be nice.
Same goes for other musicians like Meghan Trainor, who once wrote a song about not being skinny and borderline attacking thin people.
Oh, great. Let's attack thin people. That's healthy. It's so crazy how the more I say these things, the more I realize how right I am. This is actual infighting. Like, these are people that are actually sabotaging each other, right? If you make a song attacking thin people, then you are literally sabotaging women, okay?
Only to become one of us, and now she looks like a snack. The point is, this period of time gave us some of the most bizarre and upsetting advertising that I have ever seen. All of these brands were trying to emulate the weird gender fluid aesthetics that were coming out of TikTok, and absolutely nobody can change my mind. This is what Gen Z does to us. Stop. All the while, this ugliness was unfolding in other places as well, like in architecture and art and film and television.
True.
Even in video games.
True. I mean, dude, have you seen the fucking foot statue in New York City? Have you seen the New York City statues? I have to find this for you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I'm gonna ruin your life. New York NY statue. All right, I have to show it to you. I'm so sorry. I apologize in advance. So first of all, there's this. All right, this is a 12-foot tall bronze statue of a.
And communicate those inner worlds that we have, and sometimes we misinterpret with one another to try and create an understanding and basically encourage empathy.
Yeah, you encouraged empathy. All right, what about this one? The 10-foot tall foot. Oh, this is awful. Okay, this is horrible. Okay, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. That's a penis. Okay, sorry. That's horrible.
Characters were getting uglier and uglier in an effort to appeal to female gamers. Oh my god.
That is not true. I feel like people aren't going far enough on this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Listen, Sydney, I think your content's amazing. I actually really love your videos. I'm not gonna lie. You're wrong. It's so much more than that. This was never to appeal to female gamers, okay? This was to sabotage women. That's what it was about. You think female gamers gave a flying fuck if the female character was attractive? That's one. And two, women aren't playing video games. Women are like 1% of video games, okay? Listen, women are fucking playing Candy Crush, okay? That's first. And second of all, bro, this was not about it. But you think female gamers don't want pretty women in video games? This is to sabotage people. It is a propaganda to sabotage women. That is what it is. Sorry for being this controversial, man. It's just what we do.
And desexualized female characters, female protagonists, were made fatter, less attractive, and more bland. Gone were these sexy outfits and beautiful faces, replaced by whatever the hell this is. And none of this translated. Instead, many gamers felt frustrated because nobody asked for this. I mean, one of the biggest draws of playing video games is the escapism that comes with it, so I really can't understand why that would end at attractiveness. I've also talked about this specific topic in another video in great detail, so I will link that in the description box if you're interested in actually hearing a full breakdown of this weird phenomenon. Anyway, the rise...
I like phenomenons. They're cool. This is fascinating. I know that
Afternoon.
I'm crashing out
If
here,
you
but
bring
it is
me a cold one,
fascinating
I
shit.
might give you a discount.
Fascinating.
Bye
How Satan
or
controls
bye.
modern society so successfully.
And the trans movement, and the fat acceptance movement, and body positivity, and the desire to see representation everywhere basically came together and created the perfect storm of ugliness. But fast forward to, well, now, and something has
Thank you
changed
very much, and
drastically.
now,
Yes,
well,
there are
you
still
proved me
plenty of
wrong.
weirdos
Now
running
take
around
your
on
reward
social media
and get the hell out of here.
and advertising and whatnot, but I think largely as the gender ideology and transgender movements have completely fallen off.
Listen, man, I want Trump to release the Epstein files.
I'm
but I'll
gonna make
never,
you an offer.
ever
You don't
fucking
just
forget
stand
the
there
fact
with your
that
thumb
we
up
were in
your
the
ass.
epicenter
Get the
of woke
job done.
Just a year ago, brother.
So too have the aesthetics that have underpinned them. Same goes for obesity and fat acceptance. I don't...
Trump just made a tweet that woke is dead. Wait, really? No! That's hilarious. Wait, hold on. Wait, stop. That's amazing. It's in his speech. Wait, did he just give a speech? Is this new?
Right now, we ended the woke. The woke stuff is no longer.
We ended the woke.
But we're doing fantastically. Wages for blue-collar workers. All of that.
God damn, Grandpa's cooking today, I guess.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's very little of this in advertising at the moment.
Yeah, because it obviously failed. It didn't work.
There's very little of it in the entertainment and media spaces as well. And I think with the rise of Ozempic and similar type drugs, you see a lot of people now who are able to achieve their weight loss goals with very little effort, and I think that means that body positivity has fallen flat on its face.
I mean, we all realize what that means, right? That just realizes it was all a lie. Like, I hope you recognize what that means. What that means is that no one wanted to be fat. They had to be fat. And because they were fat and they were too lazy to work on fixing their fatness, they instead decided to sabotage everybody else. They never wanted to be fat. No one wants to be fat. No one loves that they're fat. It was all a sham. It was all a lie. And the movement was done purely to indoctrinate people. It was never about that. It was done vindictively and cruelty. No one wants to be fat.
Which to me is super interesting and probably warrants its own video, because it's like, I think it goes to show this whole thing about, oh, love yourself really only applies until you have the ability to actually look how you want without having to put in a ton of effort. Anyway, from celebrities to runways to media and entertainment, everyone seems to have said enough with the ugly. Now, instead of the Chapel Roans of the world, the golden girls of the hour are attractive women like Sabrina Carpenter and Sydney Sweeney. There has been this enormous...
I mean, it's always been like that, let's be honest. It's just been society telling you that that's not the case, but it's literally just, it's always been that way.
Shift away from the non-binary genderqueer aesthetic in the direction of normal again, with celebrities who are suddenly turning runway shows, award shows are suddenly back to having people in normal clothes.
Ow, ow, ow! That hurt!
Ads and media are giving us attractive people again, body positivity and fat acceptance is nowhere near as popular in advertising anymore. Movies like Barbie, for example, with its hyper-feminine aesthetic and lead actress Margot Robbie have popped up, appealing to millions of women with the emphasis on being feminine again. Even TikTok.
True. However, realistically, long way to go. And I think we're gonna get there, by the way. We're gonna get there. Patriarchy is so we're in
aesthetic. I've had a lot of trouble saying that. Wearing fur coats, bold lipstick, and Barbiecore, which...
It turns out being feminine is not a bad thing. It's not the patriarchy. It turns out women like it, and men like it too, it turns out. It's pretty weird how that is.
Exactly what it sounds like. So you might be asking, why the change? Why is it and hot and skinny and conventional again?
I think it's two parts. Part one is that it failed financially. People are sick and tired of this shit. And part two is society has changed. I think the left went too far and the pendulum is swinging.
The simple answer is that celebrities and brands were trying to convince the rest of us that they were promoting self-love and self-acceptance.
And no one bought that. No one bought it.
Embracing qualities and traits that weren't conventionally attractive. But the sudden abandonment of these specific aesthetics really goes to show that at its core,
it was all gaslighting. It was all a lie and it was all gaslighting and it was all fake. And it was all literally to manipulate and indoctrinate people, when realistically men live their best life when they are masculine, women live their best life when they're feminine, and men like women that are feminine, and women like men that are masculine. It's kind of weird how it worked out that way. It's kind of weird how the cringe normal stereotypes ended up being the healthiest lifestyle for literally everyone. Kind of weird, huh?
Push for all of this was really just marketing at the end of the day.
It wasn't marketing, it was indoctrination. It was worse than marketing.
These brands, companies, whatever, just saw an opportunity to make themselves more relatable and human, I guess, by hopping on the ugly train because their fans and viewers and whoever else were jumping on the ugly train.
And because of laziness and sloth. It's so much easier to just try to convince yourself with cognitive dissonance, convince yourself that it's good and healthy and cute and awesome and sexy to be fat. It's so much easier to do that than it's so much easier to do that than to actually lose weight. So people are gonna buy into the bullshit.
Really, I just blame TikTok at this point. Brands saw a new sales demographic and marketing avenue, and everybody ran with it until they realized that the average normal person absolutely hates all of this.
Yeah, and the people that fell for it were manipulated. I'm so sorry if you are one of those people that are watching this video. You were manipulated. You fell for a social contagion. I don't blame you at all, actually. You were groomed. You were groomed into it, in the truest meaning of its words.
And I think that's actually a bit of a trend that I'm noticing here overall with these sort of issues, that there's so many people who misunderstand that what's popular on the internet is not actually popular among regular everyday people.
True.
That's why these initiatives and these movements and whatnot fail on a long enough timeline, because normal people get sick of it, they eventually switch off. Then brands notice that they can't make money from these sort of people anymore because we're not interested, and then little by little the entire movement, ideology, whatever it is, completely falls in a heap. So in the end, obviously there is a ton to talk about when it comes to the uglification of society and culture and what have you, but as a general rule, I really believe that people are entitled to dress however they really want to. And as much as
Yeah, I know. A lot of people believe that. I used to too. I used to also. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I grew out of that. I used to believe that. I used to believe that everyone has the right to do whatever they want. I have changed my opinions on these things. I have changed my opinions. I think that there is an objective moral good and an objective moral bad. And while they have the right because it's a free country, I do think it is important to recognize good and bad. I think that's what free will is all about. Free will is being able to recognize what good is and what bad is and to make the right decisions. And a lot of people just kind of fall down the rabbit hole. I think it's really sad. Yeah, I definitely used to be more of a... I used to be a lot more of a live and let live type of guy, but I have definitely changed my perspective on things. A lot. I really have. I really have.
I am partial to dressing.
Like obviously, I don't want to jail people for doing things like that. But I'm not gonna sit here and praise you for it. I'm not gonna sit here and say congratulations, you're doing so good. I'm so happy for you that you slept with 1,000 men in a single day and you're making $1 million on OnlyFans. Good for you. Good for you. You fucked your entire life up and contributed to the downfall of an entire generation of women. Congratulations.
Alternatively, and being a little bit edgy, I am very, very glad to see the end of this weird period of time and the uglification of fashion and makeup and what have you. And if I'm being honest, I'm going to cross my fingers and toes and pray and hope that whatever we have just lived through does not make a resurgence. Now on that—
Yeah, well, we gotta see how far the pendulum is gonna switch the other way, but I really do think it will. I really do think it will.
Let's note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder, check out Chubby's using the link in the description. Like I said, this is a person who is part of our community, so go and show them some love. Go and check out their cute little plushies, and obviously, if it makes sense to you, definitely join their community. Now, I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this issue where you think that this last, I don't know, decade or so has been uniquely ugly and terrible?
I am.
Do you think that it's actually a good thing that people have the ability to express themselves like this? And
sort of. I do like free expression. However, I do think that we have to recognize when the free expression is bad. I think that we could definitely have both of these things. I think that not everything is a choice. Like, realistically, if you wanted to kill yourself, I would stop you and say that you shouldn't kill yourself. That would actually be a bad thing to do. Because it turns out, I do think that while I do agree with a lot of libertarian type values that people have the ability to make their own decisions, a lot of those decisions are objectively bad decisions. Bad, immoral, self-destructive decisions that are bad for society. So, I grew out of live and let live. I really did.
Regardless of their reasons, they should be able to do so. Do you think that all of this is a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Should we prioritize conventionally attractive things, or should we highlight things on the other side of the aisle? What do you think of the fat acceptance movement, the body positivity movement, the transgender movement, and all of the aesthetics that come along with those things? Are they good? Are they bad? Do you like them? Do you dislike them? What do you generally make of this issue overall? I'm sorry about my dog barking in the background.
Completely forgiven. It's a cute dog. Yeah, this was a great video. I'll of course link it in the description. Realistically, we are people that have free will. We can decide, and we can decide on our life choices, and we have the ability to recognize what is good and what is evil. And I do think that calling retards and pointing evil out is not a bad thing to do, even if, yes, technically it is their life decision. That is my opinion. You have the right to have another one. I am all open for the marketplace of ideas. I love open debate. I love open conversation. But I also very much appreciate the idea of living in a society where we're not collectively committing social suicide. Thank you for being here. Definitely subscribe. I'm sorry if I'm too based. It's unfortunately a weakness I've developed lately. A little bit too based. It's not good for me. It's not good for anybody. But unfortunately, I'm going to say the things that you need to hear. I'll see you in the next one, gamers. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.
And it's time for Lefties Losing It. We've got something unbelievable from the ladies of the View shortly, but let's start with a woman who the media told you was qualified to be president, the woman they painted as competent and inspiring. Here is Kamala being Kamala.
So we did DoorDash because I wanted Doritos. And they were about the red carpet part, but nobody wanted to leave to go to the grocery store. So it was DoorDash. And I'm thinking about this, so I was willing to give up whatever might be the trackings of Kamala Harris's particular fondness for nacho cheese Doritos for the sake of getting a big bag of Doritos as I watch the Oscars.
That is just...
You're hurting my arm.
I think I lost 20.
Why are you so rowdy?
Just listening to that. Now let's hear from aging British pop star Bob Geldof.
Ow!
He goes on an unhinged Trump rant, spewing all sorts of lies and hyperbole and nonsense about Donald Trump and Elon Musk, literally taking food from the mouths of starving children, he says. He really is too old to be this sick.
creeps like Trump and Musk have sucked out all of that generosity out of the air, you know. The most powerful man on the planet, the richest man in the world, have decided to take away any of the life support systems of the poorest children on the planet. Quite literally take the last food from their mouth. Quite literally take the bandages off the gang-raped woman. Quite literally stop AIDS, 5 million AIDS sufferers getting their things. So they will die in a matter of weeks. This is the USA idea.
You're hurting my arm.
Trump and Musk and all those other creeps.
If you're ever in any doubt about just how intellectually barren, how exceptionally stupid the View co-hosts are, then watch this performance from Whoopi Goldberg, real name Karen Johnson, as she explains to trans activist Dylan Mulvaney she doesn't understand why anyone could have any issue with men in women's sport.
I wanted to ask you, because there's been all of this debate about whether transgender athletes should be able to compete. And last week, California Governor Gavin Newsom said that he thinks that trans athletes competing in girls and women's sports was deeply unfair.
Oh, she wasn't done yet. Then she explains that men don't really have a physical advantage when competing in women's sporting competitions.
When you come in and you say, oh, you know, these are men, you know, competing against women, you're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything yourself. Have you seen female athletes? They know what they're doing. So I'm not sure what's going on or why this is an issue.
I think even Dylan Mulvaney was wondering what the hell she was talking about there. You don't know what's going on, Whoopi. You don't know why this is an issue. Have you been hiding in a cave for the past decade when this issue has been discussed at length? You think just because female athletes are stronger and faster than the average female that they have no issue competing with male bodies? Are you crazy? You do realise that female gold medalists at the Olympics would be beaten easily by the top high school track athletes. Easily by the top high school male track athletes, I should add. Let's not forget Australia's national soccer team, the Matildas, lost 7-0 to a bunch of high school boys from Newcastle, the under-15 boys, that was. As for Dylan Mulvaney, I'm starting to feel a little bit sorry for him, even though he's trying to inject himself into International Women's Day. This isn't what real women do.
Is this a good time? Thank God, this is the best day of my life. Happy International Women's Day. Best International Women's Day ever.
Ooh, I gotta do my hormone injection, which we love the hormones, but we do not like the nausea that accompanies the hormones. And I have a long drive to the airport, so wish me luck. That's gonna be rough.
Now, the leftist media activists and propagandists who championed Joe Biden for years are finally telling the truth about what sort of man he really is. Listen here as Chuck Todd tells us what he really thinks.
And when I realized that not one, not two, but 3 Biden children, and I count Bo's widow, were all dealing with drug problems in 2018, and Joe Biden said, now's a perfect time to run for president, because who cares about our family? I have to tell you something about Joe Biden. There's this mythology about Joe Biden that the man cared so much, it's all that he was this incredible family man. And instead, what he really was a craven political animal that it was desperate. The man considered or ran for president every 4 years he was eligible. You know why he didn't run in 76? He wasn't 35 yet. That's the only reason.
I don't recall hearing that frankness, that honesty during Chuck Todd's many, many years at NBC. But it wasn't just Chuck Todd. Then Stage 4 TDS sufferer Steve Schmidt joined in, saying that he doesn't even trust Joe Biden's children to babysit.
What I said to the group that made them gasp, I said, I have 5 kids. And if I had to leave 12-year-olds alone, if I had to leave the kids with someone, and my choices are Hunter Biden, or Ashley Biden, or Don Jr., and Eric and Laura Trump, like, I'm dropping the kids off at Don and Eric in Laura's house.
Wow, if only these two were forthcoming with this sort of information when it actually mattered. Joining me now is comedian and host of Primetime with Alex Stein on Blaze TV. Alex, the cowardice of these leftist activists, some of them masquerading as journalists, is astounding. What's even the point of saying all this now?
Well, if you look at Chuck Todd, I believe he worked at NBC for 18 years, and I think that he was let go in January because, you know, obviously he was trying to keep the mainstream narrative that Joe Biden was competent for office when in reality, everybody knew that Hunter Biden was a drug addict. Everybody knew that Joe Biden was basically a deadbeat dad, for lack of a better word. And they had to lie to try to paint a picture that he was a competent president. And now Chuck Todd is realizing, listen, I lied. My integrity is totally gone. So he's doing this to save face. And that's why he's all of a sudden changed his tune. So I didn't believe him the first time. And really, I honestly don't trust what he's saying now either.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't just that Joe Biden was competent. That wasn't the only lie they were telling. They were also telling us he was this warm, loving father and grandfather who, let's not forget that he doesn't even acknowledge one of his own grandchildren, a little girl down in Arkansas. Now to the Democrats' new darling. She's the new AOC, so you might have a crush on her because I know you like AOC, Alex. And she's been saying plenty about immigration, illegal immigration. She doesn't even think it's illegal.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime.
That's Jasmine Crockett. She's gaining herself quite a profile. And she's dead wrong because it is a crime. You think a congresswoman would know that. Here is Border Czar Tom Homan.
Is it a crime or a misdemeanor to enter the country illegally?
It's a crime to enter the country illegally on Title 8, United States Code 1325, and it's really pathetic that any member of Congress don't understand what the law says. They wrote the law. They enacted the law. It was signed by the president. It's a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. If you've entered it prior, it's a felony.
Alex, the Democrats continue to rail against the deportation policy. It's hardly a winning strategy.
No way, Rita. It's definitely not a winning strategy. You know, Jasmine Crockett is actually the representative of the district that I have an office in. So it's really sad that she even got elected. It's obviously, it's in South Dallas. It's a predominantly African-American, lower-income area. Not realizing that just coming into the country illegally is a crime. That shows you that you don't have to pass an IQ test to become a congresswoman. You can just win based on either the color of your skin or because of the way that you act. And, you know, you win an election in a place where the voters are going to be favorable to you. But it does not mean that she's smart. And I think that the more she talks, the more we realize, you know, how dumb that Jasmine Crockett really is. And I hate to call her that, but I think it's just obvious with her statement saying that when a person comes into our country illegally, they're not committing a crime. It's just a very basic, simple concept. You come in here illegally, that's a crime, you're a criminal. I don't know why this is so complicated and hard for them to understand.
I don't know if she's dumb or not, but she may have watched AOC say plenty of dumb stuff and see her profile rise and her influence within the party increase. So maybe she just wants to replicate that. We'll see. Now, the left cannot help themselves, Alex. There appears to be no self-control, no sense of decorum. Watch here as activists harass Vice President J.D. Vance as he walks with his 3-year-old daughter near their home in Ohio. He very graciously offers them a few minutes of his time to talk about what's troubling them if they will leave him and his daughter alone.
Ma'am, look at my 3-year-old daughter now, and I told you, I talked to you for 5 minutes, and now I did not agree to have my 3-year-old to have people run around and yell at her. And I did talk to you. I had said, if I talk to you for a few minutes, you leave my 3-year-old daughter alone, and you said yes. So I'd like you guys to respect that.
The Vice President tweeted saying that it was a mostly respectful conversation, but if you're chasing a 3-year-old as part of your political protest, you're a shit person. This is not the way, Alex, to convince politicians, and I don't think it's the way to convince the general public about the righteousness of your cause if you do that, because no one wants to see a 3-year-old be distressed by this sort of behaviour.
Oh, exactly. You're exactly correct. And You know, there's a saying, when you give a mouse a cookie, you got to give him milk. You know, J.D. Vance was more than gracious to even give them a moment to speak and have a conversation with them. And of course, they can't just have the conversation and be over. They have to start attacking him. They have to make the 3-year-old feel uncomfortable, because some of these people, they're incapable of actually having a civil conversation. And just the fact that the sitting vice president is willing, you know, to sit there and talk to you, you would think, even if you disagree with him ideologically, you would show him enough respect, considering the office that he's holding. And then forget about it. You can be disrespectful to the vice president, but to his 3-year-old daughter, it just shows that these people have no empathy whatsoever, other than, you know, what they personally feel. They care about feelings, just their feelings, not that of a 3-year-old or the vice president, who's being gracious and actually having a conversation. I don't know any other politicians on the left that, if you actually talk to them, and I've tried to, Rita, you know that I've tried to talk to these politicians outside of, you know, Congress stuff. They don't ever want to have a conversation, and J.D. Vance did. So that shows you that he is a guy that does have integrity, and that is actually willing to speak to his constituents and try to help and represent them the best way that he can.
Now, you've chased down plenty of politicians from both sides. I've seen you go after Dan Crenshaw, a Republican from Texas, and that's been quite colourful at times. But if there was a child present, would you still pursue them with a camera? I mean, I just think if there's a little child that age, a toddler, you just walk away. It's just not the time.
You're absolutely right. And in no instance have I ever confronted a politician while they were with their daughter or child. I mean, it's unfair to the kid, and you're going to make them feel uncomfortable. So, like I said, J.D. Vance was more than gracious enough to even speak with him. But these people are just so insane that they can't even rationalize how big of a deal it is that they're speaking to the sitting vice president and show him respect and his 3-year-old daughter's respect.
Now, staying in your home state of Texas, all drag performances have been banned from 11 campuses of Texas A&M University. This is quite a momentous announcement, because though you would think a college like this in Texas would be fairly conservative, these college campuses, almost all of them, are not. They're just hotbeds of left-wing activism. So to have drag performances,
all right, I'm logging out for a little bit.
Banned from
I'll be back later.